We should do one. Yes. All right, the June 1st, 2011 meeting of the City Council is called to order. This meeting has been properly noticed and posted in compliance with the open meeting law. These proceedings are being presented live on KCLV Cable Channel 2 and are closed captioned for our hearing impaired viewers. The council meeting, as well as all other KCLV programming, can be viewed on the city's website at www.kclv.tv. The proceedings will be rebroadcast on KCLV Channel 2 and the web the Wednesday of the meeting at 8 p.m. and also on Friday at 4 a.m., Saturday at 7 p.m., Sunday at 7 a.m., and the following Monday at 1 p.m. Now, there's no reason to alarm anybody, but we always make an announcement about our state-of-the-art fire detection and suppression sprinkler system, which is in this building. So if there's an alarm, please leave through the exits, and then our marshal will tell you when it's safe to re-enter. There's no reason to believe that this would ever happen, but we do this as a cautionary admonition. At this time, before we proceed with the agenda, would everyone please rise for the invocation given this morning by Reverend George Balgan, Metropolitan Community Church, and please remain standing for the pledge, which this morning is going to be led by Nicholas Rapanos.
Let us join our hearts in prayer. We celebrate today. We are grateful for the opportunity to enjoy the beautiful diversity of your evolving creation, to use our gifts and abilities to be of service to others, to discover you, Spirit of love, compassion, and goodness in ourselves and in one another. We pray for faith to trust that you have given all of us, your children, enough in this world to share to meet all of our needs. We pray for hope, the assurance in times of challenges that things will get better. We pray for love, the power and joy to reach out and build community with those around us. We pray in your many diverse and holy names. Amen.
Thank you. Nicholas, would you come forward, please?
Will you join me in pledge allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. Thank you very much. Good morning once again, ladies and gentlemen. This is the ceremonial portion of the agenda, and for our first item, Councilman Steve Wilson is going to recognize the June Citizen of the Month. Councilman.
Mary, you're sounding a little under the weather this morning. Okay, good morning, everybody. What a turnout today. Let's hear it. Good morning, everybody. Let's rock this City Hall this morning. What do you say? Okay, I have the privilege of starting off today's ceremonials by honoring and recognizing a very special person. I don't know if the surprise is out yet. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But I have the privilege of talking about the June Citizen of the Month in the city of Las Vegas. Normally, when selecting a Citizen of the Month, I typically try to find an unsung hero, somebody who kind of flies under the radar. Her profile isn't that great, somebody who does small and wonderful things, makes a difference, but usually doesn't get noticed. Well, today is a little different. Today I'm going to step away from that this time, because the person I'm selecting to be the June 2011 Citizen of the Month has great name recognition and has accomplished some really remarkable things. She is known for her tireless efforts, great enthusiasm, and passion for many causes. She's deeply involved in organizations that make a difference in people's lives. From her work with the Andre Agassi Charitable Foundation to her role as co-founder and co-sponsor of the Las Vegas I Have a Dream Foundation, to her current position as president and CEO of the 3 Square Food Bank, this remarkable woman touches many lives in many positive ways. When I received a letter from Kirk Clausen, who is the current chairman of the board of directors for the 3 Square Food Bank, that this person was leaving her position, I thought it would be a fantastic opportunity for us to recognize her, because this person, Julie Murray, has accepted a bigger role with the parent organization. You're stealing my thunder. The parent organization is Feeding America, so I wanted to make sure that we recognized Julie for all of her local efforts. So it is my pleasure to talk about Julie Murray, because I think that the recognition has been kept a secret until just a few minutes ago. Is that right, Julie? So you're caught off guard, which is a lot of fun. I want to recognize and thank Kirk and Deb Diaz and Cheryl Taylor, because they're the folks that gave my assistant Audrey all of this background information. Julie, would you please step up to the podium here today and accept your recognition as the June 2011 Citizen of the Month. Congratulations. You're welcome. And, oh, you're stealing my thunder again. Okay. Kirk, would you mind stepping up here and saying a few words? This is Kirk Clausen, and you are the chairman of the board of directors for the 3 Square Food Bank?
Honored to be.
Honored to be.
Yeah.
Great. Say a few words and tell us about Julie, please.
I'll keep it real short. But if I could, start off by recognizing Eric Hilton and Poonam Mather, along with Julie. Stand up. You guys can stand up for just a sec. Julie, you should stand up too. You should stand. But these three folks are the genius behind 3 Square. If it hadn't been for their coming together and building out this idea, I'm afraid I'm going to get slapped here in a minute. I'm kind of looking forward to it. But these three people came together with a strategy to wipe out hunger in this valley, and I seriously believe that it's going to happen under this organization. And thanks to Julie's leadership, this thing has gone from 0 miles per hour to 120 miles per hour in no time at all. And thanks to Julie and her leadership, the organization is prepared to succeed and go forward and do exactly what the goal of the organization is, and that's to feed the hungry. And thank you for taking the time to recognize Julie.
Fantastic. Thank you, Kirk. Julie, don't go away. Before I hand the microphone over to you, we've got a lot of people here in support of Julie. Raise your hands. Look at that. I mean, that speaks volumes of exactly who you are, Julie. So it is my pleasure on behalf of Mayor Oscar Goodman and the entire City Council to present you with this recognition proclaiming you as the June 2011 Citizen of the Month here in Las Vegas. And we have this really cheesy sign that we put out on 4th Street, and it's going to be out there for the entire month, so everybody will know and recognize you as the Citizen of the Month. It's noon. I'm being told to speed it up. But I'd like you to take as much time as you want and just say a few words, please.
Thank you so much. And to my family and friends from Three Square, Eric, Poonam, and everybody, thank you so much for being here today. It seems like it was just a blur ago, since it was in '06 that we started Three Square, and I really didn't understand the magnitude of what we all built until I heard it through the eyes of one of our students who received our food, Kat Ferranda, who's at UNLV now. And she was saying to a group of people to whom she was speaking that before Three Square, she and her brother didn't have food, they didn't have hope, they didn't have access to food, and life was awful. And when Three Square opened, she became one of the first recipients of our Kids Cafe meals, which is a fresh meal that's delivered every day to many schools throughout the valley. And she said that she now volunteers at Booker Elementary, which is one of our school sites. And when she goes to Booker, she looks at the children and sees in their eyes herself at that age. But the difference is, at that age, she didn't have hope, she didn't have anybody who she thought cared, and she didn't have food. And she said now the children that are receiving our food that Three Square is providing have hope, they're vital, they're active, and they're energized. And she said it's because of our food bank. So now this young woman is a sophomore at UNLV, and she's studying psychology and physics so that she can go on to understand the link between hunger and poverty and help to all of us to even do better. So to all of us in the community, I'm so proud of you for coming together and saying that hunger is important and working together to collaborate so we can build the national model project that we did. So my thanks to all of you.
Well, thanks so much. Stay right here. I think this gentleman would like to get a couple of pictures with the council. And Julie and Kirk, why don't you step in here real close for a quick couple pictures? So much. Thank you. Oh, you're welcome. Good luck in your new role.
Okay, for our next item, we're going to recognize Flash Flood Awareness Month. And I'd like to ask Gail Fraser and Betty Hollister from the Clark County Regional Flood Control District to join us at the podium. Every summer, we have Gail and Betty join us at a council meeting to remind the public that we're heading into flash flood season. The City of Las Vegas and the other jurisdictions have worked closely with the Flood Control District over the years to ensure that hundreds of miles of needed channels and underground storm drains have been constructed to improve flood safety. Currently, there are 85 detention bases and 560 miles of channels and storm drains in the region. These infrastructure improvements don't come to mind often, but when there's a torrential rainfall, they save lives and property. So along with the infrastructure improvements that are still being made today, the Flood Control District works hard to get the word out about how to stay safe during these flash floods. More than one half of the flash flood-related deaths are the result of people attempting to drive through flooded areas like idiots. No, it doesn't say that, but that's the message. You got to be a real idiot to try to drive through these flooded areas. I mean, morons. So please do not attempt to drive your car through these flooded waters. So, Gail, I said it better than you ever can. And I'd like to present to you and Betty our proclamation which declares the month of July 2011 to be Flash Flood Awareness Month in the City of Las Vegas, and we urge all of our citizens to become aware of the dangers of floods and precautions available for their safety. Here it is.
Hey, thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Council, for helping us get this message out to everybody. I notice there's a lot of young adults in here. 6 inches of water can knock you off your feet. Don't become a victim. Don't play in the flood detention basins when the water's there or the channels. And Mayor, I know that you are no longer on our board, but have spent about 12 years with us, your term here. In fact, it was July 8th, 1999, when we had the last major flood that impacted the entire valley. So as a parting gift from the Flood Control District and help you to remember us and to help you get through the next rainy season, we have brought you a couple gifts.
An umbrella. An umbrella. Very good. That's great. Thank you. And an umbrella stays in there.
We felt we'd give you something you could use in lieu of a plaque that you hang on your wall, and there's a nice message on there that we hope that it showers you with happiness from here on out. So.
Thank you so much. That's really nice, but I got to tell you, I was a baby mayor, and one of the first things that I did is I went over to get briefed by Gail about all of the special equipment that we use in order to detect whether or not there's going to be a flood in the area here. And I did that, I believe, on the 7th of July, and Gail showed me this machine. He said this cost about $50 million. He showed me that machine. It cost $100 million. And I was so impressed. I said, do we have any reason to think that there's a problem? He said, the machines never lie. There's no problem. The next day, we had a 100-year flood. Very good, Gail.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. That's great.
Mayor, if I could, they could probably fill this with ice and put a bottle of gin in it.
Oh. This is my friend from the LDS community advocating. Okay, you are. Okay, I appreciate that. Now we're really we're going into the gutter, folks, so let's take it easy. Okay, for our next item, Councilman Anthony is going to recognize the fine work of some local students. Councilman.
Thank you, Mayor. Is Miss Johnson here from Ruth Duskin Elementary School? Why don't you come on down here? Come on. When Miss Johnson was a fifth grader, a student, she had the opportunity to recite the Gettysburg Address in front of her class. And obviously that's a tough thing to do. It's kind of a scary thing to do, but she was very proud of what she did. Well, some years later, she became a fifth grade teacher, and she wanted to instill certain qualities in her students, such as citizenship, being proud of their country, understanding their history, understanding the historical documents of this country. So she came up with a program called the Great American Pride Program. It's a voluntary program that she put together. It goes above and beyond anything that a fifth grade student or class has to do, and it's voluntary. Not every fifth grade class does something like this. She put together a curriculum that has 5 requirements to it. Now you got to listen to what these students have to do in this class. They have to write the Pledge of Allegiance with no mistakes. They recite the preamble to the United States Constitution. They have to sing or recite the Star-Spangled Banner. They recite all 50 states and the capitals in alphabetical order. They recite all 44 United States presidents in chronological order. And they recite by memory the entire Gettysburg Address. Pretty amazing, huh? They have to do all this. Volunteer to do this. They don't have to do it, they volunteer. There are 5 classes that had volunteered to go through this program that Ms. Johnson put together. And they are located in Ward 4, which is what I represent, and I'm very proud of these students and these classes for what they did. 1 class is Ms. Johnson's from Ruth Duskin Elementary School. 1 class is from the Mountain View Lutheran School. And 3 classes are from the Meadow School in Summerlin. And Ms. Johnson is up here. I'd like to have the other teachers come up here that represent those classes. Christine O'Neill from Mountain View Lutheran. Come on down here. And the 3 classes from the Meadow School, one of those teachers I understand is not here. Kathleen Brennan is here, is that right? Kathleen, come on up. Miss Bookout's class is here, but I understand she is not here, correct? Okay, and Mr. Bissell from Meadow School, why don't you come on down here? And what we're going to do now is all these students are going to stand up. Come on, stand up. And they are going to recite for us, from memory, the Gettysburg Address. And I'm going to let the mayor kick this off. And you got to listen to these students recite this. So, Mayor?
Well, this is terrific. Do you know that when Abraham Lincoln gave the Gettysburg Address that he really wasn't the headliner there? That there was somebody else who was the main speaker on the fields of Gettysburg, and he spoke for 2 hours, and nobody even remembers his name. President Lincoln spoke for less than 2 minutes, and it was within that 2 minutes that one of the greatest speeches of all time concerning America has ever been given. So we're going to do it all together. You ready? When I say 3. 1, 2, 3. That was really outstanding. You know, Abraham Lincoln wrote 5 different versions of the Gettysburg Address, and it was in the last and the 5th version where he put the phrase in, "One nation under God." Before that, it was not included, and that's how we know that that was the 5th one, and that's the one that he gave on the fields of Gettysburg. So you are the best. It gets no better than that. I always have a question, though, and whoever puts their hand up first, I'm going to make sure it gets a good luck mayor chip, which I don't have on me, but we'll get one for you. Who was the 15th president of the United States? Yes. Wrong. Absolutely 100% wrong. The 15th. You thought I said 16th, didn't you? I could tell. Yes, back there. Excuse me? Right, President Buchanan. Very, very good. And do you know where he was from? Do you know where President Buchanan was from? Does anybody know where President... Yes. Very good. This is a Yucca Mountain Good Luck Mayor chip. That's very good. That's great. Where was he from? Go back to school.
Go and have a seat, kids. We're very proud of you. And Ms. Johnson, if you could just say a couple of words, just representing the kids and the teachers.
He's from Pennsylvania.
Good morning. I'm very shocked. In the 14 years I've been coming down here, I've never been brought up here, so a little nervous. I'm very, very proud to see so many kids that are involved in this movement. I think today with all of the technology, a lot of children wouldn't put in the time that it requires to pass all of these requirements, and so I'm very proud of you, and I know that your parents, as well as the council and mayor behind me, are very proud of you. And I hope that these words that you've learned this year and the people that you've learned about this year will have meaning to you as a citizen in the future. And thank you so much for recognizing us. And also, I'd quickly like to introduce my principal, Amy Yakubowski. Stand up, please. She's been very, very supportive of the children and myself with this program. So without her, we wouldn't be able to accomplish what we do. Thank you very much.
And Miss O'Neill from the Meadow School would like to say a couple words.
Yeah. Hi. Yes, I'm Christine O'Neill from Mountain View Lutheran School. And I just want to take a minute and thank Mayor Goodman and all the council members, especially Councilman Anthony's office and Mr. Ruggiero for helping to set this whole field trip up. And it was very nice to meet the woman behind the program. It's quite an honor. The students have looked forward to this field trip all year long, and so they've worked hard while studying more about the American history that we've already mentioned, the 6 criteria. I just thought it was fitting, though, as I was thinking about saying a few words today, I was thinking last night, it's fitting that as we've just celebrated Memorial Day, that our students have learned a lot about the founding of our nation this year and about the cost of the freedoms that we all enjoy today. As my students are from Mountain View Lutheran School, they're at a Christian school, and they have that freedom to go to a Christian school. They're familiar with the concept that although something may be free, that there is ultimately a cost. And so they've learned in one of their textbooks, the Bible, that in John 3:16, that for God so loved the world that he gave his one and only Son, that whosoever should believe in him shall not perish but have eternal life. They've learned that the forgiveness of their sins and the free gift of eternal life was bought with a price. And so because they know Jesus as their Savior and what he did for them, they can understand well the fact that the freedoms that we enjoy today in our country, such as the freedom of speech and the freedom of religion, did and still do have a cost. They have a price, namely the brave men and women who have freely volunteered to go into the armed services and that have ultimately given their ultimate sacrifices, their life. And so as we remember, the words of the Gettysburg Address and what that all meant and just the lives, we just wanted to give thanks to the men and women that have fought so bravely for our freedoms, and thank you all for having us. Oh, and I also can I quickly shout out the names of my students that passed the Great American: Emily Ansel, Micah Chillman, Austin Klutz, Mario De Jesus, Mercedes Doyle, Paige Gooden, Hogan Grayson, Lear Johnson, Nick Johnson, Tony Lambright, Kendall Larson, Samantha Gillespie, Allie Lohman, Serene Remley, Caitlin Rogers, Michael Rogie, Lily Saxton, Kristen Snyder, and Mia Wicks, and 2 that will pass it today, Dakota Stevenson and Becky Lee. Thank you so much.
And each student gets a certificate of recognition signed by the mayor and the entire city council today. And also, they are going to, Becky Skousen and Anthony Ruggiero are going to give each class a tour of the mayor's office. So go ahead and take whatever you want out of his office. That's fine with me. Or just kidding. And then you're going to go to the fire station across the street and take a tour of the fire station. So have a great day. God bless all of you, and thank you.
Thank you very much, Councilman. I can name one child from the Meadow School, my grandson, Benjamin. Okay. Okay. For our next item, Mayor Pro Tem Reese is going to recognize an outstanding local sports team. Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'm getting sick, too. It gives me great honor today to, again, recognize somebody that, to me, has really done a miraculous job. Unless you've been out and watched wheelchair basketball, you haven't watched the great American sport. I think it's wonderful that these people are here today for what they've accomplished. The Las Vegas Silver Bandits wheelchair basketball team was established in 1993 by John Chambers, who used to work for the city of Las Vegas, and we have a part of the park down at Freedom Park named after him, and it's called the John Chambers Wheelchair Sports Park. John Chambers did so much for wheelchair sports that it's just behooves me to be able to stand here and try to tell you what he's done for the city of Las Vegas and their adaptive rec program. The National Wheelchair Basketball Association is pleased to announce the selection of John Chambers as its class of 2011 inductees into the National Wheelchair Basketball Hall of Fame. Pat McCoy, could you please come down? Pat McCoy has been the head coach since its inception, has been an instrumental part of the entire paraplegic sports club of Las Vegas that includes other sports such as quad rugby, tennis, track and field, swimming, softball, and hand cycling. In 2009, it was named Program of the Year by the United States Paraplegic Committee. It offers activities for people with physical disabilities starting as young as kindergarten age children. 91 teams from around the country in 6 divisions competed in this year's championship in Denver, Colorado. Can we have the members of the team please come down and be recognized? Not all of them could be here today. Some of them are at work. I think a lot of us have been out there and tried to make a basket on our 2 feet. And can you imagine just how hard it would be to try to make baskets and pass and play as a team in the wheelchairs? To me, it's just totally amazing. 91 teams from around the country in 6 divisions competed in this year's championships in Denver, Colorado. Las Vegas competed against the top 16 Division III teams. The Silver Bandits, with a 30-3 win-loss record on the year, earned the number 3 and had to defeat the number 1 team from Austin, Texas, twice, going undefeated with 5 wins to win its first National Wheelchair Basketball Association National Championship this last April in Denver, Colorado. It's a pleasure to present to you the 2011 winners of the National Wheelchair Basketball Association's National Championship. Thank you guys for coming down. If I could, I'd like to ask Pat to say a few words. Pat?
Thank you. One of the things I wanted to say was John Chambers was one of the guys that was instrumental in us starting our programs. And it worked out to be really wonderful that he was inducted into the Hall of Fame on Saturday, and then we went out and won our championship, and he was there to see it on Sunday. And it was a wonderful experience. And I want to thank the City Council, all the guys and gals that are here now, some of the guys that have come and gone, Lawrence Weekly, Larry Brown, Mr. Tarkanian, Ricky, the mayor, all the guys. I really appreciate all the help and all the support. It's an expensive, hard, arduous process. It's taken us 20 years of working this program to win our first national championship, and hopefully it won't be our last. And I got a couple things here, if I could, for the mayor. Mr. Mayor, here's a picture to Mayor Oscar Goodman. Thank you for all your support. There's a picture of our team with the signature of all our guys.
The greatest.
There you go. All right. How's that? That's the greatest. There you go, Mayor.
That is the greatest.
But we want to thank everybody and everybody in the city. It was an honor for us to go and represent the city of Las Vegas and be successful. We want to thank you for all your support and all your help. We want to thank Lonnie Zimmerman, the director of Adaptive Rec now, and all the staff up there, all the wives, family, fathers, mothers that have supported us. Some of my guys have been around. Stephen's one of my original juniors out of my program and been with us for 15 years, and it's just a great thing. We really appreciate your help.
Thank you, and I do want to list the assistant coach, Jonathan Foster, is not here today. The players are Nate Caruth, Stephen Morales, Christian Ikinui, Renil Padilla, Sean Thomas, Nathan Pritz.
Let's see, Sal Karamzada.
Reggie Bennett, Brent Maynor, Billy Edens. Billy?
Yep, there he is.
He's a good friend of my daughter.
Yes.
Billy. Jeremy Gotzinger and David Brown. I mentioned my daughter. She's been very involved in the Adaptive Rec program for the city of Las Vegas for many years. So with that said, thank you guys for coming down today. And again, congratulations, Pat, for your hard work.
Thank you very
It
much.
pays off.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for all you do. Mr. Tarkanian, always a pleasure.
That's terrific. Thank you.
guys. Come back this way.
Great job. Great job. For our next item, Councilman Ross is going to recognize the winning entries in the 2011 El Dorado Parade. Councilman.
Thank you, Mayor. I got to say this. I am absolutely in awe today of today's ceremonial portion of City Council. Mayor, can the kids do that again? That was awesome. I do want to know, is there anybody in school today? No. And Mayor and council members and the audience with us today, it all started, of course, with our Eagle Scout Nicholas Rapanos giving us our Pledge of Allegiance today to start this whole thing off. So what a great day it is here in the city of Las Vegas. I am going to recognize the El Dorado Parade winners. First, I want to express my appreciation to our city manager, Betsy Fretwell, and Chris Robinson, who braved riding in the parade on horses with me and my wife, Kelly. Thank you, Betsy. You did a great job. And to Chris, I hope you're watching this. I want to say thank you to Big Jim Sage and his Wranglers for helping us out as well. This year, our parade had over 120 entries. Special thanks, of course, to our judges, Jim Marsh and Mr. Ryan Langson. We had a wonderful announcer. My friend from 95.5 FM, Sean Cassidy, was the announcer at the parade. Also a special thanks to Steve Shore and Cox Communications for the live broadcast of the parade. And of course, those of you that don't know, the mayor and city council brought the El Dorado Parade back in 2005. In 2009, we brought the rodeo back to downtown, which was quite a significant event for us. Of course, our thanks to the City of Las Vegas Tech Unit for providing the stage and sound, Robin Harden, Roger Picrone, Jeff Manning, and Roy Ramirez, and thanks to all of the volunteers from the City of Las Vegas, Darren Copeland, Brian Kendall, Christy Garnis, Kelly Schwartz, Bianca Cardenas, Beth Shelton, Anastasio Del Real, Sheila Macias, and several others. Thank you very much for your help. To begin this, we're going to have the overall best of El Dorado, and I hope the representatives are here. Valley High School Marching Machine is Candace Chun, director, Jeffrey Chamberlain, drum major, Julia Herskovitz, drum major, and Julio Martinez, drum major. Are you here? Come on down here, you guys. Give them a round of applause. That's it. The Valley High School Marching Machine. And I've got to tell you, and I'm going to invite all of you to come down here, so we're going to have to spread out. This is going to be a big crowd down here. When I was in junior high school and marched in the parade, and I played the trumpet, and it was the worst experience in my life. Thank you very much. Scoot on down. We got a whole bunch of people coming. Overall creativity, Bonnie Springs Ranch. Is Cowboy Joe Tasso here with us? Where's Cowboy Joe? I thought I saw him out. Put your hat on, Cowboy Joe. There you go. Say hello to, give him a round of applause. What a great entry. Overall theme was the Southern Nevada Hand Weavers, Bill Quill, Jan Flores, Carol Lefevre, Vicki Johnson, and Kathy Meisel. You here? Come on down here. Give them a round of applause. The best in float went to the Nevada State Cinderella Girls. We got the Cinderella Girls with us today. Gwendolyn Hanson plus the 3 Cinderella Girls. Are you here with us? Come on down if you're here. There you go. Come on down. Now take a look at how pretty she looks in her Cinderella outfit. Isn't she adorable? The best in the equestrian went to the White Horse Youth Ranch. President Amy Mayer, Executive Director Peggy Paulin. Are you both here? Come on over here. You got your boots on? No boots today. All right, we'll let you off the hook then. We've got some great things to give out to you. The best in car club motorized vehicle goes to the Southern Nevada Model T Club with the Mesquite Club. Are they here? We got the Model T Club here. Come on over here. Who's here from the Mesquite Club? And we got Blanche Bozarth. Oh, gosh, we got a whole bunch of them. Come on over here, ladies. I don't know if you know much about the Mesquite Club, but they have been around for quite some time. We're grateful to have them with us today. The best marching band went to Rancho High School, our own Rancho High School, downtown Las Vegas. Michael J. West, Director of Bands. Michael, are you with us? Come on down here, Michael. Give him a round of applause. It is not easy with a marching band. And our best walking group went to Daza de Carrizo. Are they here? Daza de Carrizo, Ophelia Perez, Jesse Perez, come on down, and others. Give them a great big round of applause. Mayor Pro Tem, thanks for your help. Esther, stay right here. Oh, you stay right here. Come here. Come back here. Now, you see all these wonderful people down here. I'm going to have Esther talk a little bit about the parade because I think next year we can do over 120 entries. And those of you that are watching at home or here in the audience today, it is a great Western heritage of our city to have the Eldorado Parade in downtown Las Vegas. And we worked real hard to bring the rodeo back as well. So I'm going to have Esther. Did we get it worked out? We'll get it worked out. Of course, our partners, we've got a lot of great partners with the City of Las Vegas that have helped us do this and pull this off. But Esther, talk to us about how easy it is to participate in next year's parade.
Yes, as all of my parade participants know, they've already got an email stating when the parade is going to be for next year. I've actually had 2 of them say, sign me up. We actually are going to have a new address by next year, so I can't do the parade entry, the application, until we have our new City Hall address. So it's a great parade to be in. It's a community event. We need everybody in the community to participate. Eldorado is your event. We just put it on for you. So we want everybody to mark your calendars next year. I believe the date is Saturday, May 19th. We want everybody to come out. It's a great time. We have a great fireworks show after. We have the rodeo grounds downtown. And it's just a fun community event. If you're not in it, you need to be downtown watching it. So thanks again to all of my wonderful parade entry guys. You're fabulous. I love everybody. I know I try to go up and down the parade route to welcome everybody there. But thanks so much for coming, and congratulations to the winners.
Give them a round of applause. And give Esther and her crew a round of applause, too. We couldn't have done it without you. Now, students, kids in the audience today, and parents in the audience today, too, I'd love to see all of your groups in the parade next year. Esther's right. This is your parade. It's about our city, it's about our community, and it's about the wonderful people that live in the city of Las Vegas. One more time, give them a round of applause. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
I gotta say to you, how you been?
Terrific. Yourself?
You're looking good.
Good. Thank you. You too. See you. Take care. Excuse me? Sure. Certainly. Oh, that's terrific. Nice seeing you. I'll tell you what we'll do. Why don't we wait until... Oh, okay. Right. Thank you. Go for it. Thank you. Okay. For our next item, Councilman Barlow is going to thank a very special educator in our community. Councilman.
Thank you, Mayor. Just for a second. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. In the back earlier, I looked out across the audience and I saw all of the young people, and I asked Councilman Ross, I says, you know, the first time I heard about Ditch Day, I was in the 12th grade. And Councilman Ross said, well, I heard about it in the 8th. So I just had to share that with him, Councilman, that you were an early bloomer. But today, I have an opportunity, a really exciting opportunity, to celebrate a true superstar in our community and in the educational field. At this time, I would like to ask that my dear friend in the Clark County School District, Dr. Beverly Mathis, to please come forward. And also, Tia, would you come and stand with your mom? Please come and stand with her. Please come and stand. I want you to stand here, Dr. Mathis, and Tia, I want you to stand next to your mom. Stand right here. And before I announce what's happening here, I would like for all of the young people from Kermit R. Booker to please come forward and surround this beautiful rose right here. Just stand out here in the middle, Dr. Mathis, right there, and let everyone stand all around you, on both sides. There we go. Bring them on both sides. Tia, you can bring some of them back here too. That's good. There we go. Come and stand around Dr. Mathis. In addition, please, if you're here in the audience, the faculty and staff from Kermit R. Booker, please come and stand with your fearless leader. I think it's so much important and very fitting to have you all stand here. Dr. Beverly Mathis is the principal at Kermit R. Booker Senior Empowerment School, who recently announced her intention to retire at the end of this month, June 2011 school year. Dr. Mathis has worked in the Clark County School District for 32 years as the elementary school principal at Kermit R. Booker Senior Empowerment School for the past 16 years. Dr. Mathis has not only been committed to education of our youth, she is also a servant to the entire education community. Her many accomplishments throughout the years have enriched the lives of her students and their families. Dr. Mathis is a member of many concerned organizations that have a special interest in the education of our youth. The Clark County Association of Elementary Principals, the National Association of Elementary School Principals, the Nevada Association of School Principals, the Clark County Association of School Administrators and Professional Technical Employees Council, a member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, and many more. Dr. Mathis has been recognized and given multiple awards from many agencies to include the NAACP Education Award in the year 2000, the Distinguished Woman of Southern Nevada Award 1999 and 2000, congressional recognition from Congresswoman Shelley Berkeley for outstanding achievement and major academic growth and improvement in 2000. In 2008, she was awarded by the City of Las Vegas Department of Leisure Services Diversity Team and the Las Vegas Clark County Library District. The Nevada Association of School Boards selected Dr. Beverly Mathis as the recipient of the 2010 School Administrator of the Year Award. And during the 2009-2010 school year, Booker Elementary School was recognized as a Title I Distinguished School from the Nevada Department of Education. Dr. Mathis represents the true spirit of giving by always helping to promote the needs of our youth and their families. She entered a profession dedicated to assisting young people achieve, discover, and fulfill their highest goals, and I can say without hesitation that she has done a remarkable job. She will be greatly missed by her staff, parents, and students. And in conclusion, I say, as a council representative of Ward 5, it has been a pleasure having Dr. Mathis in our education community, and her presence will especially be missed by me. So with that being said, I also would like to call my colleague, Councilwoman Lois Tarkanian, to share a few words and also to read a letter from our our Board of Trustee from Dr. Linda Young, who has submitted a letter.
First of all, I just want to say how much I enjoyed working with Beverly. You know, when I was on the school board, that I always knew you were one of the very best. And when he said peerless and fearless, you were. At times we needed courage, you had the courage, and you had the compassion. And I just want you to know, I think you do know, how much I respect you. And now I'm going to read some words from Linda Young, Dr. Linda Young, who's a very good friend of mine, so I'm honored to say them for her. As a school board trustee for District C, the Village, I am pleased to have this opportunity to publicly acknowledge Dr. Beverly Mathis and her outstanding staff for their years of dedicated services and support to the students, families, and community of Kermit R. Booker Senior Empowerment Elementary School. Nothing less than a standing ovation is in order for the tireless energy and effective instruction for all of the students at Booker Elementary School implemented by Dr. Mathis and her staff. It takes an instructional leader with an educational vision, strong sense of academic purpose, and clear mission modeled by Dr. Mathis. She received an EDD in Educational Leadership from Nova Southeastern University, Fort Lauderdale, Florida in 2003, an MS in Educational Administration and Supervision from the University of Tennessee, Martin, Tennessee in 1975, and a BA in Elementary Education from the University of Texas, Martin, Tennessee Texas. University of Tennessee, Martin, Tennessee in 1974. Dr. Mathis has been principal of Kermit R. Booker Senior Elementary School and has served in this capacity for the past 16 years, grades pre-K to grade 5. Her school enrollment encompasses 504 students, with all of the Booker Elementary students, every single one of them qualifying for free and reduced lunch. The ethnic racial composition of Booker is 43.5% African American, 53.8% Hispanic, 2.6% Native Hawaiian Pacific Islander, and 3.3% Caucasian. Dr. Mathis has led Booker Elementary School to academic success by obtaining AYP under the NCLB status for the past 6 years, from 2005 through 2011, with exemplary and high-achieving designations for every single one of the students at Booker Elementary School. The Clark County School District acknowledges the outstanding educational programs and the phenomenal staff that designed and implemented these programs at Booker Elementary School. The Clark County School District is encouraged by the extraordinary work of Dr. Mathis and her staff to support the academic achievement and educational success of all the students. Again, a special appreciation to Dr. Mathis, the Booker Elementary School staff, students, parents, families, educational partners, and community for being excellent role models of effective academic and instructional strategies for all students that promotes high expectations and student success. I am sorry that I could not be there in person to present this letter of acknowledgement and appreciation for Dr. Mathis, but let my comments nonetheless ignite the warm affection that we feel for Dr. Mathis and her team of committed educators. Allow me to end with these final words. Dr. Beverly Mathis is the best. Yours in excellence in education, Dr. Linda Young. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman. So, ladies and gentlemen, in great recognition of the phenomenal career of Dr. Beverly Mathis and her exemplary leadership and dedication to the children of the Las Vegas community, I would like to ask the mayor and members of the Las Vegas City Council, as well as the entire education community, to join with us as we today hereby proudly proclaim June 1st, 2011, Dr. Beverly Mathis Day in the city of Las Vegas. Congratulations. Your podium. Please stand here. Oh, yes, she has to stand right here.
Thank you. You know, there's a proverb that simply says, find something that you enjoy doing, and you'll never have to work a day in your life. Well, that's exactly what I was blessed to do. I have been principal and still, I guess I still am, huh, guys? I'm still principal at Booker, Kermit Booker, for the past 16 years. And every day, guys, has been a wonderful day. Now, let me tell you why. Simply because I have been blessed to work in a community of people that the most dynamic teachers and staff, the most wonderful Clark County School District that has been just outstanding in my life. I have been blessed to work with parents that are just simply phenomenal, and the children that are ready to come to school and do the very best that they can every day. I have been blessed. I have been blessed to serve in the city of Las Vegas with the best of the best council and mayor with the best. And I am just grateful. my family, Tia is my oldest daughter. We have two daughters, Tia and Ashley. And guys, when I think of public education, I just have nothing but admiration for the educators that are in Clark County School District. They did a phenomenal job with my daughters. One now works with the University of Nevada, Reno. The other one works at the University of Southern California. Clark County School District has done a great, great job with my personal family. I thank you for honoring me today. And you know, we really just thought that can we come? Well, I said to some of my boys and girls, I said, guys, I need you to go to the city council meeting with me. And I said, do you know why? They said, because you don't go anywhere by yourself. And that's true. At Booker, 2277 Martin Luther King Boulevard, we don't walk around our building by ourselves. We always have to have a partner. Safety of children. I thank my staff that's with me today. I have my office manager, Mrs. Calvo. We have our literacy specialist, Mrs. Skerlock. We have one of our resource room teachers, Miss Karen Fuller, and we have our learning strategist, Mrs. Irene Cooks. Did I miss anyone? And we have boys and girls, turn around so that they can see how wonderful you look. And make sure you have smiles on your faces. At Booker, we have a school rule, and I heard the school rule directly after I heard the gentleman who led us in the pledge. After the pledge, every day, we say our school rule, which is what? Be kind and work hard. And I heard somebody say, shh. But after we said the pledge, our children said, we will be kind and work hard. Because that's what we've done for the last 16 years. And that's what I know. I know that children will stay. Guys, what's my favorite F word? Focus. I know for a fact that children will stay focused because they aren't leaving. I am, and I expect them to continue to do the very, very best that they can and will. Thank you, and God bless.
Dr. Mathis, you are deserving of so much more. But on behalf of the mayor and council, we would like to present you with this departing gift on behalf of the city of Las Vegas, and want to say thank you for your countless years of educating our youth, not only in this community, but worldwide. And so for that, you are most definitely leaving a big footprint in our heart and in this community. So to the Clark County School District faculty and staff, you all should not allow this lady to leave the principalship. You should actually make her, pull her up somewhere in an administrative role, because she has done a great job in the Prime 6 area. So thank you so very much, and God bless you.
I'd just like to say that I think we should do what Dr. Young requested. I mean, I know what problems the school had before you came, Beverly. And will you please have a standing ovation, which Dr. Young requested? Thank you.
Okay, our kids, just turn around. We're going to take a picture. Everyone just turn around. You come in tight. Slide in tight. Keep that. Mike is in the back. Good, Mike? You ran out of batteries? Okay. That's great. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Nice meeting you guys. Good seeing all of you. Thanks for coming down here. That's a good thing. Nice seeing you. No. Good job. Nice to have you here. Nice to have you here.
I'm done. You know what, guys? I just have to say, this is the best of best city council. Guys, we could do nothing without the support, the full support. There has not been one day of my career. I said when City Councilman Barlow was reading and he said 32, this is my 35th year. I'm ending my 35 and a half years with Clark County School District. But we could not have done anything without you guys. Our theme at Booker is, it takes an entire village to raise a child, and without you, that would have simply been impossible. So thank you for everything that you do on behalf of children.
Thank you. For our final item, Councilman Wilson is going to recognize the accomplishments of some high school athletes. Councilman.
These are tough acts to follow. Congratulations to my colleagues and all of the people this morning. Before I go to our last ceremonial, I do want to recognize somebody in the audience, and that is one of our former interim city council persons, David Steinman, who served Ward 4 very admirably for a few months. So thank you for coming today, David. Okay. Today we are going to recognize the high school state champions in lacrosse. And before I was asked to do this ceremonial, I didn't know much about lacrosse. I grew up in Los Angeles a number of years ago. I played, baseball, football, basketball. When I was growing up, lacrosse was something that they did, way over there. But apparently it has really become very popular, and you young men have exemplified what this sport means today. A quick check of Wikipedia gave me a wealth of trivia about the game of lacrosse. And I'd like to share, well, I trust some of Wikipedia. There you go. I'd like to share some of these interesting facts that I found about lacrosse. For instance, it's a team sport originating with Native Americans. Originally, it was played on fields ranging from 500 yards to several miles. Teams had anywhere from 100 to 1,000 people, and games lasted for 2 or 3 days straight. Until recently, it was more commonly found in eastern states, but its popularity is rapidly spreading across the country. Today, the teams have only 10 players, and the field is only 110 yards long and 60 yards wide. The game is played using a stick with a net at the head and a small hard ball. Similar to other field games, the goal is to advance the ball down the field and into the other team's goal. And as you've seen from some of these pictures, this is a very physically demanding sport, action-packed and quick-paced. Well, now that you know a little bit more about the sport of lacrosse, I'd like to introduce you to the young men who played hard all season and came out as the 2011 Nevada High School State Champions, and that's the Palo Verde lacrosse team. So let's have a round of applause. And I'd like to bring up the head coach, Gary Campo. And Gary, after listening to Dr. Mathis and what she professed, I want you to rise to the occasion. Tell us a little bit about your team members. We've got certificates for all of them. And educate us a little about the Palo Verde lacrosse team.
First, I'd like to say thank you to the City Council, Mayor. Without your help, the sport of lacrosse is growing throughout the country, leaps and bounds. And we have two of the best venues. We practice at Kellogg-Zaire Park, the city park, and unbelievable park, unbelievable surface, unbelievable atmosphere there. And Viper Lacrosse Park. Councilman Ross, you did a great job with that. Unbelievable. If you saw the clips up there, that was Viper Park. We host a lot of out-of-state teams and tournaments and stuff. And without question, that's the best lacrosse facility in the country, and we thank all of you for that. Thank you very much. I might as well go now.
What I'd like to do is invite the team up here real quickly. So all the lacrosse team members, come on up here. You've been patiently sitting here for about an hour and a half. Come on, guys. And I'm going to ask you to tell me who's the captain of the team. Dovey. All right, Dovey, come on up here. Here are certificates, Coach. I'd ask you to give them out. Come on up here, all of you, so you're on television. Turn around this way and face the television. Okay, what's your name? Dovey?
Justin, but my last
Justin.
name is Dovey. That's
Okay.
what they call me.
Well, I'm going to call you Dovey, okay?
Dobie.
Dobie Gillis? No. That's way ahead of your time. Tell us about your team.
Well, all right. I've been going to school with a lot of these kids since middle school, and I mean, I've known them throughout the years. The lacrosse community is pretty tight, so we just know everybody. And yeah, we worked hard all season. For a while, we were a bit of the underdogs. We didn't know, what was going to happen at the end of the year, and we just played hard and came out and won state.
Fantastic. Who'd you beat for the championship?
Henderson.
Henderson. Yeah. And then finally, tell me why you would select lacrosse over, basketball or football or the more traditional sports.
Well, do you want me to hold this? All right. I like physical sports. I mean, I'm more of a contact sports and lacrosse. Like, you wear pads, you wear a helmet, so you can hit people, and that's what I like to do.
Honest answer, huh? Okay, well, congratulations, guys, and can we expect a championship next year? How many of you are returning? Well, there's enough. Okay, thanks so much. Congratulations. Have a great day.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, Coach. Thanks, Coach. Give out those certificates.
Thank you very much.
Do you go to Lifetime Fitness?
Yeah, I do.
I see you there all the time.
I was there last night.
Yeah,
Come up
I
and
was
say
there
hello.
last night. All right.
Come up and say
I'll
hello
see
for
you
sure.
next time.
Okay. I'll be there tonight, 5 o'clock.
Thank you.
That's it? Yes.
Mayor, you have a poker chip? Yeah. Come here when you're good. I know, I like it. I get to work with this guy here. He actually is the brand. Thank you. All right. Thank you. Good job. Thank you, Mayor. How you doing? Yeah, good job. Thanks, guys.
I have a question on number 19. What kind of question? If it comes up, what kind of question? It's about the furniture in the new city hall building.
Thanks. Okay, thank you. Great, thank you. There's just some candy. Okay. We're going to debate for a minute. Everything changed. apparently, Betsy says it makes no difference if we obey it. I'm just listening to orders. I have no idea.
How about you?
It's his bill.
But you know what? I'm glad that you keep me informed. Thank you.
That's what Mayor Pro Tem does. Okay, we're all set. Item number 13, any items from the morning session that the council, staff, and/or the applicant wish to be stricken or held in abeyance to a future meeting may be brought forward and acted upon at this time. Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you, Your Honor. We have item number 45 is creation of the Board of Appeals for the Department of Building and Safety. Staff has to strike. Item number 46 is Park and Recreation Advisory Commission. Councilman Tarkane would like that to be held in abeyance until our June 15, 2011 meeting. Are there any other items at this time?
Yes, Mayor Pro Tem. Item 49, which is bill number 2011-25. I'd like to obey that for 30 days, please.
Okay, we bring that forward and do that. Number 49. That would be July 6th. Thanks, boss. Are there any other items? Hearing none, Your Honor, make a motion to bring those three items forward and take the appropriate action, please.
Thank you. Let's vote on that, please. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Item 14 is approval of the final minutes by reference of the regular City Council meeting of May 4, 2011, and the special joint City Council Redevelopment Agency meeting of May 17, 2011.
Thank you, Your Honor. No deletions or additions. I'll make a motion to approve the minutes, please.
Thank you. Let's vote, please. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Items 15 through 40 are on the consent agenda. They're considered to be routine. They're recommended for approval by the departments and may be enacted in one motion. Are there any items that the council wishes to bring forward on the consent agenda?
Yes, Your Honor. We have item number 99, and by request of Mr. Farlow, and item number 21, please.
What was the first one, please?
19.
19 and 21?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Do you want to make a motion on the others?
Yes, Your Honor. Hearing no other items, Your Honor, make a motion to approve items 15 through 40 with exceptions of 19 and 21 with all conditions, please.
Thank you. Let's vote on that, please.
Before we do that, could I just ask you to amend that to take out 25 too? I just wanted to say a couple of sentences about that.
Okay, we bring item number 25 forward also. So my motion would be to approve items 15 through 40 with exceptions of 19, 21, and 25.
Okay, then let's vote on that, please. Post. Motion carries. Item number 19 is approval of award of contract number 110064-PH, office furniture for the new City Hall, Department of Public Works. Award recommended to Facilitech Business Interiors. Yes, sir.
Yes, thank you. Todd Farlow, 240 North 19th Street. Has the seating been selected for the auditorium seating in the new building?
Ms. Fredwell?
Yes, Mayor, that's part of the building interiors that have already been selected.
The reason I say that, these seats here are outstanding, outstanding. Those ones over at the Government Center are just absolute crap.
So are these.
And the other thing is, when they laid them out, there's more room to move in here. And I mean, if you've got a broken back and you're sitting in these seats all day, it really gets, I mean, these are nice. But I just hope that they don't have something like they have over at Government Center.
Thank you.
I move to approve item number 19 with all conditions, please.
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem.
Yes.
I just wanted to ask, did we send any of this background information as to the bid to the council members? It's $3 million, and I've questioned a lot about what we were going to be able to keep and what we were going to buy, because I think it's very important that we're very careful with our monies here. And I've been gone on vacation for a week, so I didn't know if it came out during that time, but I cannot recall receiving that. I'd like to know, what are we going to be able to take from what we have here, utilize over there? And I know it's different modules, and I know it might be a problem to get something in someplace, but some of it will fit, some of it will do, and I'm just thinking about saving money.
Ms. Rainey?
For the record, Kathy Rainey, Manager of Purchasing and Contracts. There's a significant amount of reuse of the existing furniture that will be taken. Many of the panels will be refabricated and reused. Many of the conference room tables, the training room tables, and many of the chairs will be refabricated. We're expecting at least 20%. Some of the furniture that is listed in this $3 million is not just for City Hall. It will be about $1.6 million of this is for the new City Hall. Some will be for the atrium building. This is a 2-year contract, so it will be for other city facilities as well.
My concern is also voiced because when I first came to, when I was first elected to the council, we were going to replace the sofa. So I asked if they would replace it, and they replaced it with a sofa that was really incredibly bad, and it cost incredibly more than the other sofa had cost. I asked, can we go outside and bid it or do something to save the money there? And I was said, no, we had certain vendors we dealt with. Was this something that went out in RFP?
Absolutely. This was an RFP, and as it turned out, it was the lowest cost. It was our existing vendor, but the prices came down. I believe they came down about 6.4% from the prices we had been paying.
Wow. I'm sorry to hear that, to tell you the truth, because of my past experience. I cannot vote approval on this because of my concern about the amount of money being spent and the fact that we haven't had much opportunity to get a full understanding of how that's being done. That's just my feeling. I know from places I've worked before that the furnishings and equipment, you have this big budget, and sometimes things don't go as focused as they should be, and that's, I would like to see the background information related to that. And I can understand if nobody else feels that way. It's just my past experience.
I'd also like to add that the costing includes the installation, which the labor portion is a significant portion as well.
Yeah, and what did we finally do with that labor? Was that union labor that we use on that, or is that in-house labor? What is it?
No, for the warranty provision, you must use a manufacturer-approved labor. It's not required to be union labor. I believe a few months ago I briefed on that.
Well, we talked about it, but we didn't know that we had made a decision on this one right here. So are they using union labor? Are they using their own labor? Are we using in-house labor?
They're using their own labor to ensure that we have the warranty.
Okay, I just, I don't feel comfortable. I'm sorry. I know you worked very hard, but I don't.
My motion is for approval of this item, Your Honor, with all conditions, please.
Okay, let's vote, please. Post? Motion carries. Thank you. Item number 21.
Yes, Your Honor. I move for approval of this item with all conditions, please.
Okay. Let's vote, please. Post, please. Motion carries. Item 25. An approval of a memorandum of understanding between the City of Las Vegas, the Clark County School District, and Future Smiles for the Ed W. Clark High School modular facility located at 4291 Penwood Avenue. This is in Ward 1. Councilwoman?
Yes, I just wanted to mention here that I think this is another excellent example of the city working with partnerships outside the city and coming together to get a plan that we may not have been able to get if we hadn't had those partnerships. Here you have the private partnership with the Smiles Foundation, you have a school district, and you have the City of Las Vegas that have come together to provide a program that will give dental health care to young students who would would not be able to get the health care in any other way. I just wanted to point that out because people always say, well, you're not looking at monies, you're not looking at this. When we join together with the business community, with the charitable community, with the school district, and with the city, I think we're doing our very best to join together our resources rather than running parallel and costing more money.
Thank you, Councilwoman.
All right, Councilwoman, your motion, please. Okay, let's vote, please. Post. Motion carries. Thank you.
Mayor, before you move on, Carol Meyer just approached me a moment ago and indicated that during the briefings, there was a desire on behalf of one or more council members to have item number 29 heard separately. It's a special event alcoholic beverage license for Raul Escobar. I don't know if that's still the desire of the council. If it is, I would recommend that you rescind your vote on that and hear it separately. I understand it may have come from the staff of Councilwoman Tarkanian and Councilman Wolfson.
Would you say that again?
That's my understanding that a member of your staff, Councilwoman, and perhaps Councilman Wolfson had indicated during the briefing that they wish to have this item heard separately. I don't know if that's still the case. If it is, you need to rescind your vote on item number 29 and have it heard separately.
And Councilman Wolfson knows that better than I because I was on vacation yesterday.
Let me clarify a little. During our briefing yesterday, I had some questions about this item, and Councilwoman, you weren't there yesterday, but your assistant was, and I think she voiced that you hadn't been briefed, and you may have some questions. So I thought it might be a good idea to pull it forward so that we could hear it separately. But it's your item, Councilman, so it's whatever your pleasure is. I had some questions concerning the issuance of this special event license.
And what were your concerns?
I would rescind. I would move to rescind our vote on item number 29, please.
All right, let's vote on the rescission motion, please. Post.
I voted.
Motion carries. And then item 29 is approval of a special event alcoholic beverage license for Raul Escobar, location 3120 Sirius Avenue, Suite 107, dates June 4th, 11th, 18th, 25th, July 2nd, 9th, and 29th, 2011. Type, special event, beer, wine event, ECO bail, person responsible in charge, and this is in Ward 1.
Mayor and members of council, Carol Meyer, business licensing. Our concerns that we have on this, Mr. Escobar applied for a special event liquor license for those following dates, and he's proposing to us, he's filed for dance permits, and he's proposing to have dances held out of a warehouse location. We did contact Mr. Escobar and ask that he be here today.
He is here, Mr. Escobar. Why don't you come up, please?
And perhaps he could better explain to you what his plan for this venue is.
Okay, if you please identify yourself for the record, then if you'd be kind enough to tell us what you plan there, we'd appreciate it.
Raul Escobar, good morning.
Good morning.
This is a venue that's going to be held in a warehouse, but the warehouse had previously been renovated as a strip club. The owner is a very orthodox Jewish gentleman. I work for him. I'm his property manager. The city had several problems with this facility. They were doing a lot of things. They were borderline illegal, if not fully illegal. To his own expense, he spent over $200,000 to have them evicted. The space has been sitting vacant since 2007. He approached me and said, Raul, what can we do with this space to better utilize it? I'm just sitting, paying property taxes. You know, there's a certain amount of obsolescence that's going to occur with this property. You know, we run the risk of homeless people breaking in, the copper being stolen. I don't have to tell you, gentlemen, you know, the situation out there right now. I approached him and I said, well, we can do if special events, not run it 7 days a week, but just on certain occasions, go for our special events permit, just serve beer and wine, and serve not prepared food, but chips, pretzels, that kind of stuff. So here we are. Plumbing, electrical, everything's already existing.
And Councilwoman, one of our concerns was whenever we see an application like this, if it's truly a liquor establishment that they want to operate, they need to go through a background investigation and get a liquor license. If it's a special event, we know that we do have special events from time to time, but it doesn't sound like it's truly a special event. It sounds like it's a business operation that they're wanting to conduct at this location.
Well,
It
not
is,
necessarily. I'm sorry. Did I cut
Oh,
somebody
that's
off?
okay.
Not necessarily. We plan to run it as a special event. We're not going to run it 7 days a week. We're not going to rent out the facility to other people to come in. It's just going to be events that we're going to have, and it's more so to keep the space operational and to keep it running versus having it vacant. The owner is, and I work for him, so it's not like we're going to rent out the space for somebody that's going to come in and open up a bar. His main concern is that the space is sitting vacant, and also if he rents it out the way the space is already refurbished with the plumbing, the bar, somebody's going to come in and they're going to open up a bar and then he's going to have problems in there. So he doesn't want to sit in vacant, and he doesn't want to rent it out to someone. They might do the same thing as these previous tenants who initially went in and opened it up as a rave club and then slowly turned it into basically a brothel. So that's the situation that we have.
Mayor,
Councilman.
Councilwoman, you mind if I ask a few questions?
No, I think that's
Okay.
fine.
Carol, what is the definition of special event alcoholic beverage license?
Well, they're to be held in conjunction with a special or a temporary event, and I know that's been one thing that we've worked with the city attorney to try to define. It's weddings, commemorations, birthdays. Saturday night is not typically a special event.
So, if you're interpreting, if I'm interpreting your interpretation of the code, is a special event is it a 1 day or 2 day activity that happens because of a date that has been set, whether it be for a wedding or a birthday party or a reunion?
It could be, if you look at what Whirligig is doing today, they're pulling a special event for First Friday. They've deemed that to be a special event.
Correct.
So it doesn't have to be, it's kind of a loose definition. It could be one of those things, but it's not limited to that scope.
And when we provide a special event license, what is the sunset as far as if I come in and want to have an event today? Will it only be for today, or will I have an opportunity to utilize it for the next 72 hours, for the next week?
They have to put on their application which dates they want to use it, which he did. It's all the dates that are listed. You can only apply within a 2-month period. That's why he's done all of the dates like he did.
Okay. And, sir, I'm sorry, is it Raul?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Raul, what is your actual event? What are you proposing?
We have an event scheduled for actually June 4th, where we're going to have a Latin night. We have 2 bands coming in, just beer, wine, and water. And then after that, what I propose is to the dates that we have or that we have applied for, to utilize them for independence dates of various Latin American countries, also birthdays. We have a couple of people that are interested in quinceañeras. And if this works out, we're not going to apply again for another special event. And you have to understand that the landlord has put forth a decent amount of money versus leaving the property vacant to see if we are able to do this. If we are able to do this, he's more than willing to apply for a liquor license. And we're not trying, in other words, we're not trying to circumvent anything.
Okay.
By any stretch of the imagination.
So June 4th, 11th, 18th, and 25th are all Saturdays in June. And June 2nd, 9th, and 29th are Saturdays as well in July.
Correct. And I just want to clarify one point. We are basically targeting a Hispanic population. These folks work, for the most part, 6-7 days a week. The days that they can have their events are, for the most part, Friday evenings or Saturdays. Even if, let's say, the birthday's on a Wednesday or on a Thursday, they're not going to leave work. They're going to do it on that weekend. That's why we designated just weekends. Other than that, the facility is going to be closed. No one's going to be there Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Then we have a couple of days on Fridays, and then most of the dates are on Saturdays.
Okay. And this is in the Sirius is right off. Is this the connection to Cross Street? Is it Sirius and Valley View?
Sirius and Valley View is the
that
main
industrial
intersection.
area? Yeah.
But it's really located over by Sirius and Rengel. I don't know if you folks remember the old Scandia.
Okay, so
project.
so it's actually east of Valley View.
It's east of Valley View. There's no residential housing.
Right.
It's
Okay,
all
so the industrial
basically
area.
commercial and industrial.
Yeah.
They're not going to get in the way of anyone, and there's plenty of parking there.
Okay. Thank you, Councilwoman.
Okay. All right, pardon me.
Was there someone else?
Mayor Pro Tem.
Yeah, I just have a question now. These special events, you want to have your special event, then you want to have dancing afterwards at the same location? This is all at the same location.
Well, if you know anything about Hispanic culture, you can't have a special event without dancing. They go hand in hand. If you have a celebration, they're going to want to dance. So we have to provide the music for them to dance.
Okay.
And the reason that
I understand all that, okay, but what I'm saying is, you want to have, to me, you want to have two events the same night, though.
No, it's the way, in my understanding, and I might be mistaken, my apologies if I am, the way that we filled out the applications was in accordance to the city requirements. And there's two applications for the special event. You have the special event, then you have the dance hall permit. They have to go hand in hand. If it was just one application, we would have just filled out one.
Well, to me, I think you ought to just come back and ask for a liquor license and have it every night if that's what you want to do. This here, to me, is just running I guess an experiment, and you're going to come back in 2 or 3 months or whatever and apply for a liquor license anyhow. And this here, it's just.
Well, it's only because you have to understand the landlord's position also. He's been taking a beating on this property. We all know what the situation is with commercial property in Las Vegas.
I understand,
I'm a real estate broker.
If this is my ward, I would ask to be held in advance so we could discuss this, so you could discuss that with the lady that represents the area and just see what she wants to do with it, with staff. Because here we're just, I don't feel like I can support the application as it is.
And, well, when I approached the city and I went and I filled out the application, I asked all these questions and what was the best route for us to go with the circumstances that we had. And this is what they suggested for me to do. All I'm doing is what I was instructed to do. That's all I'm doing. I'm a real estate broker. I manage the property. I'm a licensed property manager. I'm trying to find the best use of this property for my client and following the rules, regulations, guidelines, and suggestions of the city. That is all I'm doing. I'm just trying to do my job. Thank you very much, sir.
Yes, you are.
Councilor Ross.
So let me understand this. You, as an applicant, went to the city and said, hey, this is what I want to do. How do I get there? And this is what they told you, and you followed that process. And now you're here today getting grief over it. Am I right?
In certain words, yes.
Okay.
I wouldn't say
Just
grief,
wanna
but
clarify.
here we are today.
Well, I mean, this is on the consent agenda. It almost sounds like you want to do a special event in this warehouse. You're not going to do it all the time.
No.
And if you are going to do it all the time, I think business licensing is going to say, just as Mayor Pro Tem indicated, you need your liquor license, you need to do this, you need to do that. Different game
Exactly.
than what you're trying to do now. So this is kind of like you're testing the waters of whether you want to go into business or not.
Yes, and just so you guys know, we would never open this business 7 days a week. The only one that this particular property owner would trust with this would be me, and I am way too busy trying to just stay alive in this real estate market because that's my primary job.
Well, if I
Is
may,
a
Mayor.
real estate broker. The deal that I made with him is if you want to do this, Mr. Davidson, we will do it on weekends. I'll be more than happy to help you, but I'm not doing this 7 days
Okay,
a
then
week.
that, Mayor, if I may again, that brings up a good point. Are you going to do this every weekend?
Not necessarily. The dates that we have allocated on the application, we wrote down those dates only because we need to fill out those dates for an application.
Okay. All right.
Some of those dates, we're not going to do anything. It's going to be closed.
Okay. I'm just asking because I'm going to support your request because I think it's a good way to say, I'm going to test the water, see if this works.
Thank
But if
you,
you want
sir.
to do this on a regular basis, you want to do it every weekend, then I think you're going to have to follow the city's protocol in regards to business license requirements.
Absolutely. And like I said, we're not looking to circumvent anything. Whatever the city wants us to do, we shall do.
Okay,
You're
thank
welcome,
you.
sir.
Mayor Goodman.
Yes, Councilman.
I don't think anybody up here is anti-business and anti your efforts, but we have responsibilities to make sure that our citizens are protected. And, if we grant this special privilege to serve alcohol, we want to feel comfortable that the environment that this is in is the right environment. And all I've heard is that it's a warehouse. I haven't seen any pictures of the warehouse. I don't know how many, hold on a second, please. I don't know how big your warehouse is. Are there bathroom facilities? Is there going to be security? Because what I'm hearing is you're going to throw a big party, if you will, which is great. We all like to party. People deserve to have fun on a Saturday night if they work all week. How many people do you think would come to your June 4th event? 50 or 500? I haven't heard about that. You got 500 people coming and they're drinking beer and wine. I'm concerned about them driving. I'm concerned about security. So it's difficult for me, and I respect Councilwoman Tarkanian, this is her ward, but it's difficult for me to support this. I don't have enough information. Can you fill in some of those blanks? How many people are going to be?
Absolutely. Since the space was vacant since 2007, we hired a general contractor. We ordered architectural plans, and we submitted them to the city. I have copies of the plans here if the board needs to see them. It's 5,000 square feet. The occupancy load for 5,000 square feet for the use is 298 occupants. The bathrooms are meet code. The plans have been approved by the city planning. Electrical is existing. Basically, it's not an empty warehouse as you would envision it. The previous tenant who had the rave club and turned it into the strip club, they did all the plumbing, they did all of the electrical. They were fully licensed to operate. The reason that they got shut down is, number one, the landlord didn't want a strip club in there. He didn't want a brothel. That's not what he approved. And number two, they had huge problems with the health department, obviously because of the nature of their business. Everything else is existing. It's an existing facility. It's not, the situation where you're going to roll up the doors and people are just going to come in.
What about security? Are you going to have any private security there?
I have security lined up. I'm also a martial artist. I do kung fu. I have my Sifu who's going to participate in the event, a couple of other Sifus that I know, and they're senior students. If this does not meet the city's requirements, we can hire a security company. The only reason that I went that route is because I trust these individuals implicitly. Whereas a security company, I've been involved with a situation where you had to hire security. And honestly, I wouldn't hire those individuals. I wouldn't hire them to guard my house. The people that I have designated are people that I know.
Mayor Goodman?
Yes,
Mayor.
Councilman.
I understand what you're trying to accomplish. I had a very similar case in my ward, and I asked them to make sure that they had hired security versus hiring my friends, if you will, that's going to come in and watch this party, because my friends don't know all the individuals that are coming to the party. But if you have security, it provides another layer of extra protection for the patrons as well as yourself, so that you and the Sifu are not out trying to watch the front door, the back door. You all can basically concentrate on what's going on the interior. So in order to gain my support of this item, I would ask through the councilwoman, I don't know what her wishes are, but the only way that I'll move forward with this item is if, in fact, there's going to be hired security for a party such as this.
Absolutely. If the motion is approved, we'll hire a security company as of today.
Okay. Any other comments or questions? Councilwoman, your motion.
First, I'd like to say that you're asking for 7 days in 7 weeks' time. And I just think that's too much on a special events license with as little knowledge as we have. And our two councilmen near me have expressed it very well. We need to know a lot more than that. However, you're saying to us that this is what you were told to do. And so I can understand if you've already got things going for the 4th, which is only 3 days away, that puts you in a bad position. And I'm assuming he did follow through, or else you would have told us that he didn't.
And Councilwoman, I just want to clarify, I just got an email from staff too. I know we did explain to him we have a special event or event establishment liquor license. He was made aware of the licensing that is required. But again, like Councilman Ross said, I believe what he's wanting to do is test the waters, if you will. One thing that we could do is, we've done this in the past, is vote to only approve the 4th and the 11th and have him come back on the 15th, and then we could kind of see how the first two events went. And Brad, again, because the way the ordinance is structured, they can only apply in 2-month periods, so we would be doing a temporary approval of these and then bringing the agenda item back.
Right.
Okay.
I myself had thought along that line, and the only thing is, my feeling was that I would move to approve the June 4th special events, because he's obviously got planned. He has enough time between now and the 11th to make changes with the other, or to move whatever's happening to the 18th. So my motion would be to approve for a special event alcoholic beverage license June 4th, and not the other dates. And then we can get a better lay of the land as far as what happens on June 4th.
May I ask a quick question, Mayor? Do we ever send staff out to monitor an event? For example, I'm going to support Councilwoman in her motion to have the event on the 4th, but how do we know how it went? Do we ever send staff out for the
We
event?
do. We send staff. We also ask Metro to send our undercover officers to some of these events that we have concerns with.
And we go too. I mean, myself and my staff go too when we do something like this. What?
I thought you go to
The club.
That's what you said.
Oh, my goodness.
Councilwoman, they are charging $40 admission.
It's been reduced to 35.
Okay.
Well, I thought I'd charge it to the city. No. I'm just kidding. I wouldn't charge it, and we never have charged it to the city. But I would still make that motion, and that is to approve the first date, not approve any of the other dates for that special event alcoholic beverage license. But I will tell you this, if you have that on the 4th, I am requesting that you have professional security.
Absolutely. It will be done.
We will get,
As a
we will
condition.
get him, he'll have to provide us with the business license for the security company.
Yes, the license of the person you hire would need to be approved. That person would need to be approved by business.
Yes,
With those changes made, I can support the motion.
I think Brad's going to clarify how the motion's going to have to read.
Right, I just want to make sure you're limiting it to a special event, limited to June 4th only, a requirement that there be hired security approved by city staff, and I think those are the only modifications. With that said, unless you have something else, Carol?
But we're going to bring it back to the 15th because they can only apply once in a 2-month period.
Right.
So we don't want to.
Yeah, and with respect to the remaining dates, they'll be on their next agenda.
That would be fine.
Do you have any plans, Mr. Escobar, for the 11th?
We did have plans for the 11th. I can cancel those plans. Obviously, the most imminent pressing issue would be the 4th.
All right, and then he can come back on the 15th for additional dates, is that correct?
Correct.
Right, the remaining dates will be held in abeyance until the next meeting where you
Exactly.
can consider all of them.
Okay. I can support that.
And that was my motion.
Okay, let's vote, please. Post. Motion carries. What time? What time?
Between 9 and 3 a.m. if anybody wants to go.
9 p.m. and 3 a.m.
9 p.m. to 3 a.m.
Your Honor, if I could, I'd like to recall item number 49, please.
Which one are you
Okay, item
recalling?
49, correct?
49, yes.
Item 49. Let me get that. Pardon me. Item 49 is bill number 2011-25, authorizing building wrap signs with the downtown Centennial Plan Overlay District and establishes standards and procedures relating to such signs. Yes, sir.
Yes, Your Honor. It's been brought to our attention that one of the applicants would like to have this heard on the 15th instead of the July 6th.
Okay. Then I would move to obey this until June 15th.
That'd be the motion, Your Honor.
All right, let's vote, please. Post. Motion carries. Thank you. Okay, are we up to 41? Okay, 41 is report and possible action regarding the status of negotiations and concessions between the City of Las Vegas and the International Association of Firefighters, the IAFF, Local 1285. Mr. Tarwater.
Good morning, Mayor and Council. I'm here today to give you a status report on the negotiations between the fire union and the city. I have 3 slides. The 3 slides involve basically what the city's considerations have been in our discussions, what the fire considerations have been, and then where we're headed, which will be mediation for this process. The first slide we don't have the PowerPoint, I'll just go through this. These are discussion items.
All right, apparently we do not have the PowerPoint.
What's that? Okay.
Could be a little clearer. Maybe they can make it a little clearer. It's a little better. That's better.
Okay, the considerations that the city has brought forth to the fire union in the 6 meetings that we've had was to agree on there would be no cost of living increase, would be zero for the negotiations. We've proposed a 3% rollback, which includes PERS, which would be about a $2.1 million reduction in salary. And the reason that we did that was because last year, when we were looking at the COLA, we gave credit to the fire union to about $2 million, 2%. This year, there is no credit. We did not budget for a cost of living increase, and that's why we have proposed a 3% rollback in wages. Just below that, in addition, if we had considerations that we've discussed with the union regarding if the rollback was not acceptable, that we would look at some standard operating procedures from the fire chief that would involve staffing that would also be able to reduce, we considered, overtime and wages. So those 2 items were discussed back and forth between the union and the city's team. 3% rollback, and in lieu of that, some standard operating procedure changes that our fire chief has recommended. The city has also asked for the uniform allowance to remain flat at 0. The union has requested that it be paid this year. The medical, we've agreed on the medical. We reduced the per pay period premium from $450 to $360 per pay for the entire union, and it comes out to about $1.4 million. Below that, we wanted to make sure that we discuss what happened last year and this year with the step reduction. It was a 2-year program, a 50% decrease between the steps and step increases, which resulted in about a $450,000 savings. That was last year, and it also carried over to this year. So we wanted to make sure that we were giving credit there. Documentation pay was eliminated. And so last year, the first year of it, it was about a $450,000 savings, and then ending it this year will be a $450,000 savings too. Wanted to make sure that we gave credit there too. We've discussed a 1-year contract because we think that we still are going to be looking for concessions and more from our unions and our executive and appointive to get through the next 2 or 3 years. We wanted to note also that there's a change in the PERS process this year. July 1, there is an increase in PERS for the fire department. It's a 2.75% increase to the city and to the fire department. It's split in half. And down below the line under PERS, it shows that an employee would be paying 1.375% and the city would be paying 1.375% too. So it's a shared cost with that process. So our reduction goal for this year was $6 million. It was the same goal last year. We've asked for that to carry on. Below the bottom line, besides PERS, we also wanted to make sure that we gave credit where the educational incentive sunsets. It was about a $200,000 program. We were paying for degrees for people in the fire department. That sunsets and it goes away. And then one of the other items that we thought was really important is in our discussions we've talked about a lateral academy, hiring more people into the fire service to try to control our overtime. So we've included those in our discussions. Oh, it's coming up, okay. The second slide is just from the IAFF considerations and our discussions. We did get agreement with the COLA, which is simply zero. We've both agreed on that. However, we're asking for more of a credit since we didn't use the budget process for this year. Under the medical, we've agreed the $360 per pay period, which is about a $1.4 million give. Next two items I covered in the previous slides. These are credits given for the step reductions and the documentation pay, and we value those considerations about $2.3 million. So we're still far apart in our negotiations, and leads us to the last slide, which is where we're headed. In our April 27th negotiation meeting, our sixth meeting, the fire union announced that an impasse, and basically we're stuck. We have not reached an agreement with this contract. So we have agreed to use the Federal Mediation and Conciliation Service here in Las Vegas. Commissioner LaVon Ritter, the city has used before, the fire union has used before. We're familiar with her. This is a voluntary effort, something that we believe a third party might help us get closer together and actually have a contract and settle at that point. We are scheduled for June 13th and 15th for mediation, and we hope that that works and we don't have to go any further. The city also, to update the slide, the city also requested that we, on a parallel path, file for fact-finding. And we've done that. We've worked with the fire union's attorney and our outside legal counsel, Mark Ricciardi, and we have already selected a fact finder, Norman Brand. He also has worked a lot here in the Las Vegas Valley, most recently with Clark County Fire. So we have that scheduled at the same time. So we're very hopeful that we will settle this in the mediation process, but not to slow it down in case we don't. We filed for the fact-finding process at the same time. Mediation, fact-finding, and arbitration are all outlined in NRS 288, and we're certainly abiding by that. I do want to thank the fire representatives that have been negotiating with us and their leader, Dean, for their efforts thus far. And so we're hopeful that this will be positive and we will come out with an agreement here, hopefully June 13th, June 15th.
Thank you. Any questions of Mr. Tarwater? Comments? All right, thank you for the report. Can we have a motion to receive the report, please?
I move to accept the report, please.
Thank you. Let's vote, please. Post. Motion carries. Thank you. Item 42, report from staff on the status of the Warrant Service Pilot Program, a collaborative interdepartmental program between municipal courts, judicial enforcement, and marshal units, and the deputy city marshals from the Department of Detention and Enforcement.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good
Council
morning.
members. My name is Karen Coyne. I'm the Chief Officer of Public Safety here at the City of Las Vegas, and I am both honored and privileged to stand before you today and report on the status of a new program at the city. The Warrant Service Program is a collaborative effort between the Departments of Detention and Enforcement and Municipal Court. And today I'm going to just briefly go over the history of the program, the purpose of it, the program objectives, and the performance data. To take you back to a point in time, just about a year ago, we were experiencing some of the most difficult challenges this city has ever seen. We had a structural deficit of about $50 million. All department heads had been asked to prepare 12% reduction plans to their departmental operating budgets. Reductions in force loomed in the public safety arena, specifically out of the Department of Detention and Enforcement, where we were looking at roughly 78 uniformed officers between corrections and our marshal staff being laid off. It was a very difficult time, and I'm sure none of you have forgotten that day. As we navigated down that path, the city manager, made a commitment to you, and she directed us that we remain cognizant of three key areas as we moved forward, and that was to be mindful in every action to preserve jobs, to do so in a fiscally integral manner, and to sustain the highest level of service delivery to our constituents as we possibly could. Not sure that anybody could say it any better than the mayor himself. And so if you would just indulge me for 2.5 minutes worth of a clip of video from last year at this time. Do we have sound? Okay. Well, we're just going to move right beyond that. But basically, sir, you were stating how terrible it was that good people who had done absolutely nothing wrong were going to be laid off. Moving beyond then, we'll go right to the next, maybe we will, slide. I certainly apologize. But if you can go to slide number 3, let's go to slide number 5. Program objectives. As we considered all the things related to the budget process, we had 4 major goals, one of which was directly aligned with the city manager's commitment to you and direction to us, and that was to preserve jobs. Last year at this time, we were looking specifically at laying 10 deputy city marshals off as of July 1st, and we were looking to lay another 12 off in January of this year. And I'm happy to stand before you today and tell you that we have, in effect, collectively, and through your vote in our budget meeting 2 weeks ago, preserved those jobs. Important to our elected judiciary body, and equally important to you, as you've declared one of your priorities is to have a safe city. We identified improving judicial compliance as one of the components of this program. Improving compliance, what better way to demonstrate to our constituents that we hold people accountable when they, in effect, thumb their nose at the court. The third goal was to enhance revenue, which is directly related to compliance. Compliance, in effect, equals revenue. And this is not new money. This is not in a situation where officers were out issuing citations and there was revenue generated as a result of that. It is and it isn't. This was money that was already owed as a part of that action being taken long ago and far away. This is money that was just in need of collection. Item number 4 was to work in partnership. As we kicked this program off, we were experiencing times like we never had before. It was a new day, we were a new city, and we had to look at new ways of doing business. And while we are no strangers at the City of Las Vegas to working in partnership, the collaborative effort that we put together, and there are many people that were responsible for this, is going to be demonstrated in the slides as we go forward. Just to kind of explain the alignment of this program, there's the larger umbrella program out of municipal court, which is the warrant service program. The warrant service pilot program is one component of that larger program, and it involves the efforts of municipal court, and specifically from the court, our judicial enforcement unit and the municipal court marshals, and our deputy city marshals then from D&E. This is a traffic-focused program. So we'll get into the program statistics. Now these numbers are all through the first 3 business quarters of the year. This is a brand new program and we won't close the books on it until the 30th of June. But since July 1st of 2011, 80,000 warrants have been issued out of municipal court. 77% of those account for traffic cases, 23% are criminal, and then when we get down into the criminal piece, it's fairly well distributed between DUI and domestic violence cases, which, by the way, are a priority for the court. There are 2 areas, by the way, out of municipal court that they focus on. One is judicial security. That's paramount. We staff those courtrooms to make sure that there are no incidents whatsoever. The second priority is, as you can see, there's no shortage of work here in this particular area. So they focus on, or have focused on, while they hit all areas, they focus on DUI and domestic violence cases. I guess the point here is, out of those 80,000 warrants that were issued, through the efforts of this team, 35,000 cases were cleared. That's phenomenal. That represents a 44% case clearance rate. Again, you can see it's fairly evenly distributed between traffic and criminal cases, and as well as the DUI and domestic being a little higher.
Yes.
Mayor, just real quick, just for
Sir.
a point of clarification, Karen,
Yes,
I don't
sir.
mean to stop your presentation, but if you go back to the previous slide, I just want to make sure that I'm following you. The 35,000 cleared warrants, this is from the time we started the warrant program to the current day.
That's correct.
Okay, I just want to make sure that we're clear on that. Okay, thank you.
As we move ahead, the clearance method for these cases is broken out as follows. The pilot program, which remember is just one component of the larger warrant service program, accounts for about 23% of that volume. And other, which represents folks who may come into the counter, they may have had a court appearance, they may call by phone. That is in the other category, and you can see that represents about 21% of the clearance rate. Now, generally speaking, as we get into the people part of this, each person who goes into warrant, and you can see there are 36,000 or so that went into warrant, they each represent, on the average, about 2 cases. One person, 2 cases. Some are higher. On occasion, they are lower, but on the average, it's 1 person for every 2 cases. So out of those 36,000 people who were notified that they were in warrant out of municipal court since July 1st of this year, this team has been able to contact 16,000 of them, which equates to, if you do the math very quickly, about 60 people a day. That's phenomenal. That's a huge workload. And the result is even more impressive. Of that number, 9,000 of them paid. Now, the significance of that is those 9,000 people did not go to jail, which means they were more likely to maintain employment, maintain shelter, keep their families intact. The socioeconomic impacts of taking a trip to jail are incredible, and if we could ever really truly get our arms around it, it'd be very powerful to make some good decisions from. We're not there yet. I'm not sure that we'll ever get there because these are representative of multiple interaction with law enforcement, et cetera.
Yes, let me stop you there because in our dialogue, when we first started talking about whether or not we were going to move forward with the warrant program, there was concerns from the council as far as how, in fact, once the individuals who had warrants, once contact was made, how they would pay. So going back to the 9,000 people who paid, how did they pay?
Couple of options. If they're contacted in the field, we put them directly.
And contacted in the field could mean a knock at the door.
That's correct.
Okay.
We took a 2-prong approach to this plan, by the way. There's the customer service delivery piece, which is where a booking agency, Metro, Highway Patrol, any agency that would book a misdemeanor offender in the city jail can call us. We have these 2 little jingles. You call, we haul. You hook 'em, we book 'em. Now, let me explain what that does. From the customer service perspective, we want our patrol officers, regardless of what color uniform they're wearing, we want them out in their assigned patrol districts. When they run across somebody who's 440, which is the 400 code for wanted, it takes them from their patrol district because the statute says you shall take me as a person in warrant before a magistrate. Through this program, we've been able to deploy our resources out to those areas to collect that offender from that booking agency and take them and perform that service on their behalf, which, by the way, keeps them in their patrol district. I mean, it's a beautiful partnership. So that's one piece of the deployment method.
Now, I understand that, but bring that down a little bit as far as layman terms. What does that actually mean as far as one entity comes and grabs the person in warrant and take them where?
To the city jail.
Okay.
This is all related to warrants that are issued by our municipal court for misdemeanor offenders who would go to the City of Las Vegas Detention Center.
Okay. Are they booked?
They are booked into custody.
Okay.
However, through this program, the responding officer will consult with the offender and make arrangements, if possible, for them to pay some or all of their fine and or fee to the city. And that then, if they pay part, it'll get them a new court date, gives them a new chance to
be released.
Correct. If there isn't the opportunity to pay for whatever reason, then we'll take them to the jail and book them.
Okay.
So that's the first prong. The second prong then are cases that, and so this requires a little explanation. Case goes into warrant. We don't just run out there like gangbusters and serve it that day. Maybe we'll be there someday. Maybe it's just not even appropriate to do that at this point in time. But today, the way this works is if Diana, may I use you as an example, goes into warrant, Our Judicial Enforcement Unit, head up by John Williams out of Municipal Court, will take that case for a specified period of time. We started off at 120 days. They'll work that case for 120 days. Today we've reduced that down to 90 days. And or if John's team realizes that Diana is just giving them the message early on that she is not going to comply, those cases then get transferred over to the Deputy City Marshal Unit, where staff then prepares a packet. The packet contains all of the background data so that the officers can be as informed as possible when they go out into the field to try and make contact with Diana. Now, Diana sees the officers coming up through the window. She's not going to answer the door. Sometimes she does, and we're able to make arrangements on the spot, and everybody's happy. Sometimes she's not going to because she's just not sure why we're here, or she is very clear on why we're there and just doesn't want to talk to us. So the officers will leave a card and with calling instructions, and then payment can be taken right over the phone. So we're trying to make this as easy as possible, keeping in mind that while these folks have remained non-compliant with a judicial order, it is, after all, a misdemeanor traffic violation, and if we can keep them out of jail, which is a great cost containment opportunity for us, and keep them, perhaps like we said earlier, employed and intact with their family and with shelter, then it's really a win-win situation. Continuing on then.
Chief.
Sir.
I think something you told us yesterday. There it is. Pardon me.
Great. This all directly relates to the cost containment opportunity at the jail. Now, we're a misdemeanor facility, 1,050 beds in the city. Virtually everything we do in the world of detention relates to population at the jail. Even the cost per inmate per day fluctuates based on the population level. Now, our population admittedly has been down. We were fairly flat between 08 and 09, 931 inmates per day to 938 inmates per day. And then you can see from 09, which is not represented here, but the 938 people per day was declined from that number down to 833 in fiscal year 10, and we're down to now 718 in fiscal year 11. There are a number of things that drive population, number of variables that could affect it. We believe that the warrant service pilot program definitely had an impact on the reduction in our population this time around. Why do we think that? Because we have data to support it. 9,234 people paid and did not go to jail. In any event, this all equates to dollars. And we have some opportunities where we know we need to refine some of the data that we're collecting as we move forward. But presently, the way we are capturing numbers, the average person who is in warrant, we don't define it yet, but we will in the future, the difference between the length of stay for a criminal warrant versus a traffic warrant. But today we just have the overriding, you're either in warrant or you're there on a probable cause charge. Those who go to jail on warrant, their average length of stay is 11 days. That's a long time at $150 a day. So again, you do the mathematical equation for those 9,000 people times 11 days times $150 per inmate per day. That equates to about $15 million. Now, I cannot stand here and tell you by pointing to a line item on any budget that we have actually saved $15 million this year. What I can tell you is that number is very exciting, and we don't know if it's an anomaly or if it's a trend. We'll have to watch this in outward years. But as we get out into outward years, this year being our baseline data year, if that trend continues, imagine the power of having that information with solid data to back it up and how that can impact our ability to negotiate things such as contracts for food and linen and medical, which are medical being our most expensive piece of the operation, not to mention how we deploy our staff. I mean, we very well may have discovered that there are better ways to deal with some of our misdemeanor offenders than to just simply go directly to jail. So it's pretty exciting. Now we get into the performance piece of this. I wish Mark were here today because I know he gets razzed a lot for being incredibly conservative. We didn't think so. We were already 1 quarter into this program before we really had good, solid revenue targets associated with the outcomes, which was a little nerve-wracking because it's difficult to hit a goal if you didn't know what the goal was. It's just that this was a new program. We all struggled to try and identify what would be an appropriate number to achieve. Now, back to the umbrella program, the warrant service program, that goal was set at $11.5 million. We all balked at it. We just thought it was unattainable and too aggressive. The pilot program, it had a target of $2.1 million. We thought that, which was a component, again, of the larger program. Again, just thought it was way too aggressive. We didn't have enough data. We had no data. I mean, it was a brand new program. You can see as we move through from quarter 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 that we've been in a 100% cost recovery mode. That you can see the black beginning to grow, and it really peaks at quarter 3. Now, there are a couple of reasons we believe for that. Again, we need more time and more data to really analyze this effectively, but I understand that quarter 3 is generally a high time for the court anyway because tax season is abound. Likewise, quarter 3 really represents where this program hit its stride. The training, had pretty much been completed. The flagging issue, which is accountability for who's doing what, we'd really honed in on it. Now you see a slight reduction in quarter 4. We believe that that's probably associated with the fact that that begins the summer peak, from Easter on, basically, which is a busy time out in our parks, so the attention gets diverted a little bit. But those are phenomenal numbers, not to be overshadowed by this slide. The pilot program, which again is one component of that larger program, had that target of $2.1 million. Our expenses were $4 million. We brought in $5.6 million in revenue. Now, the significance of this is 100% cost recovery, and in addition to paying for itself, this group generated $1.6 million that will be contributed to the general fund. It is phenomenal for a program that is 3 quarters old, and one that we can all be very, very proud of. As we move forward, we did a SWOT analysis, and I guess I'll just draw your attention to a few things. If you look in the weaknesses, opportunities, and threats area, you're going to see a common theme there. It's technology. You will look in the strengths area, and you will not see technology there. It is our goal to shift the technology piece from those other areas to the strength sides. This isn't a perfect program by any stretch of the imagination. We have some inefficiencies, we recognize that, and would expect it for a new program. It means that we have some work to do. I can tell you it's effective, as it's demonstrated in those previous slides, and it holds great hope and promise for the future from a cost containment perspective, as well as, more importantly than that even, to demonstrate that we are committed in this city to making it safe. So in summary, you'll see that on the left side we have goals, the first of which was to preserve jobs. We've achieved that, saved 22 jobs. Second was to improve compliance. We demonstrate that through a 44% case clearance rate. Revenue, which is directly tied to compliance, we surpassed those revenue targets. We've worked in partnership with not only internal departments, but also with our sister agencies out in the field. And I really couldn't be more proud of the folks that came together during some of the most contentious times we've seen to make this happen. And it really took an army of people to do it. You can see by this list of people here that, nothing that we really do and do well is accomplished by one or even a small group of people. It takes a lot of people and a lot of effort to make it happen. And the more heads we can have at the table that can give us good, solid perspective on the data, the better off we are. I'd like to invite and ask for your indulgence. I've asked Alicia Martino, who's a representative of the Municipal Court Marshals, and David Compson, a representative from the Deputy City Marshals, to come up and just share very brief comments with you about the relationship between the groups. Because when we kicked this thing off, there were high tensions. We had a group who felt, well, I think actually both groups felt somewhat deflated and devalued. We had a group that was facing a large number of layoffs. We had another group that saw some of their duties and responsibilities being transferred elsewhere, and it just has a chilling effect on our ability to be progressive. However, these folks came together, they set aside their differences, and more importantly, their fears. And As I look at the numbers, there is no question in my mind that we move forward with this program, that we use this as the catalyst to look at other opportunities. And I'd just like to congratulate the entire team, many of whom are here today, a lot of whom are watching. Thank you so much for all of the hard work that you've done and the endless hours of collecting data and analyzing and, tolerating each other. So with that, Alicia.
Councilman Ross.
Before they speak, Karen, if you don't mind,
Sure.
and you too, if you don't mind. I remember those days when we were getting ready to lay off all those officers. And I think these numbers have certainly surpassed my expectations. But I want credit to go where credit is due. And it is the men and women of your department that brought this certainly to my attention in regards to what we were missing out there. And it's not that we just weren't doing it, because we kind of weren't doing enough of it. We were still doing it. But I remember those contentious moments. Jim, you remember those contentious moments as well when we were talking about just starting this program. So I want the men and women of both the Blues and the Browns, and that's how I separate you guys, to recognize, you guys made this happen. You're the ones that helped save those jobs. You're the ones that helped increase our revenues. You're the ones that took our numbers down in our jails, and that is significant. But I want also everyone to recognize it was this council too. And Councilman Wilson had some good concerns, genuine concerns on how we're going to do it. But without other departments who were also came to me and talked to me about this, and I remember talking to both of you, Betsy and Karen, how tough this was going to be because we hadn't been so focused on it before. So it is significant for me, number one, to save those jobs and increase our revenues. But more importantly is the relationship between the Blues and the Browns right now. And I think that is significant to note as well. And Karen, you just did that. That cooperation between the courts and our regular marshals in the streets is huge today, and I don't want to lose that. We've got to intensify that relationship. We're all on the same team. We're all focused on the same goal here, and I just want to say thank you to everybody for making this happen. I want to say one more thing, Mayor. From the men and women in the department, I'm getting word that we can do more, and I don't know because I'm not out there. You guys have to determine that in the departments. Can we be doing more? Can we be getting more money? Can we be reducing our bed count in the jails today? I don't know that. I'm submitting that to you to take a good look at it. And I'm grateful for this presentation because I wanted to hear this. And I'm sorry I missed briefing yesterday, but can we do more? Because that's what I'm getting from the streets. And you guys have to answer that question. You as the officers in the field need to answer that question. When I see a marshal's car in Henderson where I work my day job, patrolling the streets thinking, what's the city marshal doing out here in Henderson? I know what you guys are doing. You're collecting money. You're keeping somebody out of jail. So keep up the good work. Thank you very much, Mayor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Alicia Martino. I work for Municipal Court Marshal's Office. First, I'd like to thank the council for giving us the opportunity to enhance the warrant service program and recognizing that it has great potential. Through the combined efforts of the Las Vegas Municipal Court Marshals, the Judicial Enforcement Unit, Detention Enforcement Marshals, and our numerous support staff, we were able to generate enough revenue to save 22 jobs. I really have to thank the support staff because this has not been easy on them. Since the Deputy City Marshals began doing our transport and traffic warrants, it has really freed our officers up to focus on criminal warrants such as DVs, DUIs, and our specialty court warrants. The success of our municipal court warrant window can be measured by the amount of warrants cleared and revenue generated. One officer alone assigned to that window clears approximately 150 warrants at $25,000 in revenue each week. The warrant pilot program is an excellent example of city employees coming together to save jobs in the economic crisis we're in. The goal was not only met but greatly surpassed. The municipal court marshals have many more ideas for the future development and for court compliance and warrant service. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Dave?
Good afternoon. I guess it's afternoon, Mr. Mayor, Council.
Still good morning.
All right, I have no real prepared remarks except to echo everything that Deputy Marshal Martino said, and also my respect to our chief. But none of this could have been accomplished without the support of the city management, first of all. But also, I couldn't be out there doing my job trying to catch offenders, keep the parks safe without the support of all of the city staff, that the LESTs in the jail that answer our phone calls when we call them at 2 and 4 in the morning, to our corrections officers who accept our prisoners. But the one, in regards to thanking all of the rest of the city staff, that's been done over and over again. I have heard one resounding point from the public that I interact with on a daily basis. This program is great. I didn't realize I had a warrant. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to satisfy it out in the field and not have to go to jail. The public was, the majority of them are not in compliance because they don't want to be in compliance. It's because that life happens, circumstances happen, and now the city has provided the public with an opportunity to get back in compliance, do the right thing. The city makes the courts become more efficient. The citizens get back in compliance. I mean, it's a win-win for everybody here. And again, thank you all very much for the support that allows us to do this job. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dave.
Are there any comments or questions?
Mayor Goodman.
Yes, Councilman Anthony first.
Thank you, Mayor. If I remember correctly, it was about a year ago. I mean, obviously we were right in the middle of talking about laying people off, and it was a couple of city marshals that came up with this idea. That's the beauty of this. We didn't come up with it. It was the rank and file came up with it, and just started spreading the program around. And between the city council and the city manager and you, I mean, you put a great pilot program together that is really working, and it's working well. And we did not lay off city marshals. And I just read an article today on an email that the state of Minnesota is looking at laying off 800 state troopers. Maybe we should send this program to them, have them take a look at it to save their police officer jobs. Because as far as I'm concerned, the most important thing the city can do is to have cops out in the street patrolling and arresting people that have that are kind of thumbing their nose at the criminal justice system, but doing it in a way that allows folks that don't know they're in compliance to come in compliance. So I think it's working out great, and I know it's titled a pilot program. Is it going to be a permanent program?
I'm so glad you brought that up. Couple things. There was a list of recommendations that staff prepared, some of which we've already kicked off and are implementing. Others are going to require a little more research. One request, and a strong one at that, that I fully intend to support, is to remove the pilot status of this program and just enroll it in the overall umbrella of the warrant service program so that we can move forward. I think we have a great bench year worth of data from which to measure in the future. So that's the plan. And then two other points I'd like to make. All of the work that's been done, and 16,000 people that were contacted, not one of those cases resulted in a reported use of force incident, and not one single complaint went to internal affairs. That is incredible.
That is remarkable. Councilman Wilson.
Thank you. Congratulations to you and the officers in the field. You're doing all the work. You guys get all the credit, so congratulations to you. I know that in the past, I think the county and perhaps the city used some, and I'm not sure what the term was, immunity programs where they...
Amnesty.
Amnesty, that's the word. I couldn't think of it. Where they scheduled a few days or a week where people could voluntarily come in without the threat of being arrested and take care of these warrants. Do we still do that amnesty program through the city of Las Vegas?
I don't think that we have in some time. Mr. C may want to comment on that. But at this point, I mean, this program really affords them the same opportunity. We come into contact with them. By the way, at any point in time, somebody has a warrant, they can call and see if there is an opportunity to make arrangements. So the amnesty piece of that has kind of, we've gone beyond that. I mean, we're out in the field delivering that exact service one-on-one as we come into contact.
Well, what I would ask, because I know that the county has done it over the years, and I've heard that it's been very successful because I think there's less manpower. And I don't want to take away your jobs. That's the last thing I want to do. But working together, perhaps both can be done where we look into an amnesty program where we advertise it in advance and we say if you have City of Las Vegas warrants, you can report to, I think it was done at Cashman Field actually, you can come down and you can take care of these warrants without the threat of arrest and pay your fines right there. So I think it's worth looking into to work in conjunction with this former pilot and now permanent program.
Councilman Orlando Sanchez, Deputy City Manager. I had this discussion with Jim a while back when this first program was kicking off. There is a downside to doing the amnesty program because individuals know what's coming. We used to do it like almost every holiday, every Christmas time, and people didn't used to pay their bills, and they just used to come because they'd be, cut in half or reduced. And I'm not sure if Mr. Carmody wants to hit on that, but that was my understanding of why we're not making it every year like we used to do years and years back. So Mr. Carmody can probably hit on it a little bit further.
Good morning. Excuse me. Jim Carmody, Court Administrator. We used to have an annual amnesty program. What we found was, and somebody mentioned it, people began in the community to take advantage, wait for the amnesty program rather than taking care of business. The Cashman Field program is still in existence, and that basically deals with the homeless. And we have 2 judges that go down and hear those cases, try to remove their municipal court issues so they can get other benefits that are available if they don't have warrants, etc. We have talked about having an amnesty program again this July or August. We haven't had one for a few years. We think it's something that is worth doing, but it ought to be moved and not be every year automatically, because then it becomes an expectation. So it is our intent to probably do it this year, and it will not detract from what the people in the field are doing, because there's plenty of individuals who maybe could take advantage of this that we won't get to in the field.
Any other comments or questions? How do you like this voice? I don't know whether I'll be able to. I'm not even going to mess around. See, I'm through. Mayor Pro Tem,
yes,
take it up.
I move to accept the report with all the comments put in on record.
Thank you.
You want to do it? Post. Motion carries. You want to read it?
Yes. We'll go to item number 43, discussion of possible action regarding the funding mediation for City Parkway 5 Inc. versus Union Pacific Railroad relating to the remediation of property generally located at 100 South Grand Central Parkway, together with other matters relating thereto. Mr. Gerbert.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. This item is in order. We recommend approval, and I'll answer any questions if you have any.
You've heard the motion. Any questions on the motion? Hearing none, cast your vote, please. Please post. Motion carries. Item number 44 is discussion of possible action regarding an appeal of work card now for Irina Harris doing business at 7-Eleven store at number 29652, 3001 South Valley View Boulevard. This is in Ward 1. Carol, please.
Mayor, members of Council, Carol Meyer, Business Licensing. I also have with me today Sergeant Carmen Donegan with the Metro Special Investigations Section, and Pete Cruz, Detective Pete Cruz, who prepared the report in the event you have any questions on the report. And by code, I just want to remind you that Ms. Harris has the right to appeal her work card denial that was she received from the Metropolitan Police Department Fingerprinting Bureau. And at this time, I'd like to turn it over to Ms. Harris so she can present her facts and reasons that she believed council should overturn this work card denial.
I have just a question of the applicant before. Do you have a letter, or is your employer aware of the problems that we have?
My employer, he's right there, and I also do have a letter. I have both, but he is here.
Yes, thank you.
Part of our application packet is
Yes,
a letter
please.
from the employer supporting the
I want to
individual.
put that on the record. Yes, ma'am, please.
I just want to say that I made a mistake before, but I am a hard worker and I do love the work, and this card is really important so that I can actually, I've paid for what I've done, and I'm still paying for it, and I would really like to have this work hard so that I could just work and keep me out of trouble and keep me so that I can finish paying what I have to pay off and go on with my life.
Thank you, appreciate that. Are there any questions? Councilwoman?
Could you tell me what your recommendation was?
I didn't make a recommendation. I wanted her to go ahead and present her case first.
Okay.
Do you have a recommendation, Carol?
My recommendation would be 1-year site-specific work card with a 1-year review. And I know Councilman Wolfson reminded us with her, part of her probation, I'm sure, is that she maintains employment. So my recommendation would be a 1-year work card.
So a 1-year work card, I would move to allow a 1-year work card.
Site-specific.
Site-specific. And you had the latter thing on the
A
recommend.
1-year review.
1-year review.
You've heard the motion. Cast your vote, please. Please post.
And good luck to you.
Thank you.
Motion carries. We'll go to item number 47 is Senior Citizen Law Project Advisory Board, Sadell McKay, term expiration 11/1/2013. She resigned. Procedure for this board requires appointment by the City Council to fill the unexpired portion of Mrs. McKay's term. Is there anyone? Oh, yes.
Good morning, Mayor Pro Tem,
You
Mayor,
bet.
Council. Sugar Vogel, Senior Citizens Law Project. We recommend for appointment Denise Camastro. Ms. Camastro is a geriatric care manager. She's a registered nurse, and she's a nationally certified guardian. She works well with the senior population, and she has expressed a willingness to make a contribution to the Senior Law Project Advisory Board.
Are there any others that we'd like to hear from? Seeing none, I would move to follow Sugar's recommendation for approval of such a fine lady. You've heard the motion. Cast your vote, please. Please post. Motion carries.
Can I make a comment, Mayor, before Sugar steps
You bet.
down? Sugar, I just want you to know, and for the council's benefit, every time you come before us, you have a smile on your face and a positive outlook in your heart. I recognize that about you, and everybody you deal with in this community, I think they feel the same way.
Thank
You're
you.
uplifting, you're positive, regardless of how dark the day might be. You're doing such a great job. I wanted
Thank
to make
you
a
very
comment
much,
about
Councilman,
that.
and thank
good to
you
see you
to-
today.
Well, Mayor Pro Tem, with your permission, Councilman Ross, do you have any idea why she's that way? You ever met her husband?
I don't believe I have, Councilman.
Well, if you came to work every day after spending an evening with Mark Vogel, you'd have a smile on your face.
Okay.
Well, thank you, and thank you for the support that the city gives
I
the
think the
Senior
bull
Law
stops here.
Project. Thank you very
Thank
much
you.
for your kind words.
Item number 48 is bill number 2011-24. Councilman Barlow, do you wish to have this bill read?
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Thank you, Councilman. Bill number 2011-24, in order to repeal in its entirety Chapters 10.22 and 10.24 of the Municipal Code relating to radio receptive interference of shortwave receivers and vehicles, respectively, and to provide for other related matters.
Any questions or comments?
I did have one question. Brad, you know, sometimes we've had comments come into us from the public about really why are you allowing this or that? You don't even allow, you shouldn't be able to have radios in cars or cell phones and things like that because of the ordinance on the state level, I believe.
Yeah, I don't know anything about the state level. I know why this is on the agenda. Quite oddly, about 6 months ago, the city manager received a letter, it was kind of tongue-in-cheek, from a citizen who had read this obscure portion of a code, realizing in order to have a radio scanner in their car, they needed permission from the city, and he was seeking permission. We went back and looked at 10.22 and 10.24, realized they were written when people still rode dinosaurs, and decided that it was probably time to take them off the books. So that's what we're doing here.
Thank you for the edification of Councilman Barlow, who didn't know people that rode dinosaurs. I think this is important because, you know, we've had 2 or 3 people who have been very persistent about this, and I could never reach the solving of it. I'm glad that you reached it and you're able to handle that easily. Thank you.
Sometimes the best law is no law.
Thank you,
Good.
Councilwoman.
Thank you.
Can we have a motion, please?
Move for approval.
You've heard the motion. Cast your vote, please. Please post. Motion carries. Bill number 2011-25. Councilman Barlow, do you wish to have this bill read, please?
I thought we had abated
I'm
it
sorry.
till June
That's
15th.
We've already been taking care of that.
Okay.
New bills. Items 50 and 51, bills 2011-26 and 2011-27 will be heard at the recommending committee meeting on Tuesday, June 14, 2011. I'd like to have these bills read, please.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Bill number 2011-26, an ordinance to repeal in its entirety Chapter 6.54 of the Municipal Code relating to the regulation of membership clubs and provide for related matters. And Bill number 2011-27, an ordinance to exempt from the city's noise regulations certain activities within the district known as 18B Las Vegas Arts District and provide for related matters.
Thank you. New bills 2011-26 and 2011-27 are assigned to council members. Councilman Barlow and Anthony, are you going to be available, please? Okay. We'll move on to item 52.
Mayor Pro Tem, if I could jump in there, it's my understanding that there is no need to have a closed-door session today. Is that correct? I'm directing it to the city manager. She's indicating that's correct. What I want to do is put on the record something I've wanted to do for the last couple of sessions. We have been, at least since I've been here, and probably before, posting on these agendas a notice to go into closed session upon a duly carried motion, have a closed meeting to discuss labor issues. Let me read. This is NRS.
Are we adjourned for this, please?
Yes, we are. We are. What I'm about to do is make a record for why we're not going to put this on the agenda again, and this is my only opportunity.
I just wonder who's agendaed for. That's fine. It's a joke.
I got it. 2.88.220, it reads as follows. The following proceedings required or pursuant to this chapter are not subject to any provision of the NRS which requires a meeting to be open to the public. And subsection 4 says, any meeting of the governing body of a local government employer with its management representative or representatives. Under that section of the open meeting law, this technically does not even have to be on the agenda. It's been going on for so long that I thought there ought to be some record for why we're not going to be doing it in the future. These meetings certainly do not have to be agended. The manager can hold them on the spur of the moment. She can grab all 7 of you anytime she wants, close the door, and discuss labor negotiations. That's what this section says. So in the future, we're not going to be posting it. That gives you a little more flexibility to have these meetings or not have them as the need arises. Let me separate that too from those meetings where we close the door to discuss the competency of, in this case, your city attorney and your city auditor, which I think is on for the next agenda. That is a type of meeting which is a closed-door session. It does have to be noticed. You do have to make a motion, and those are recorded and the tapes preserved in case anybody questions what really went on during the meeting. But with respect to labor negotiations, you will not see this on the agenda anymore. That's for the edification of the council and for members of the public in case there are any questions.
Do we need a motion to strike item number 52?
No, you don't. Just
okay.
Mayor Goodman. I'm sorry, Mayor Pro Tem.
Please.
Just wanted to address what Brad just shared right now. Brad, I understand where you're coming from as far as explaining as to why, in fact, we may not see this again. However, perception can be others' reality, and in the future, should that ever take place, where our city manager need to speak with us, I'm reluctant to not have it posted for the sake of someone's perception as to discussions being brought up that could possibly very well not be related to, as far as their perception not being related to the labor negotiations. So as a point of being transparent in the open government process, I would feel more comfortable if in fact we continue to do it the way we've done it, just to protect the council in that respect, and also to give the public an opportunity to actually see that we are not trying to do anything behind the dark curtain. So I just wanted to put my comments on the record as far as it's a comfort level for me, and also it gives the community an opportunity to actually see that we are communicating in relation to the labor issues, even though we don't, as you stated, we may not have to do it by law. I think it's just a good safety measure and a check and balance to assist us from that perception. So I just wanted to put that on the record.
Thank you. Any other comments?
If I might just share my thought about that. I agree with Councilman. If we have time to post it and get it on the agenda, great. What this does is it affords you an opportunity and me an opportunity when we're working through some very difficult labor issues not to have to wait 2 weeks. And every other local government doesn't post. They don't do some of the things that we've been doing. But Brad and I were both reluctant to just make that change without having some sort of discussion here. If we need that, I'm hoping that it will not be very frequent, but it may be. And we wanted to just make sure that everyone knew that we're changing a practice, that we will stay in compliance with NRS. And as much as we need to, we will continue to put it on here. But if there needs to be a quicker meeting than a 2-week meeting, then we may assemble you all in a room, and you needed to know that you're okay doing that.
And that's a good point that you bring forward also, Betsy. But for me, I would prefer to keep it the way it is. And if in fact that every blue moon incident where we need to come together, we can do that, because as Brad stated, it's justified as far as this council having the opportunity to do that. But yet and still, I would like to have that layer of transparency in place for the sake of the community, because that's where the breakdown in government and the community takes place, when they feel that we as elected officials, the government policymakers, are doing things outside of the purview because they don't know the details of the law, that we don't have to do this by law. But yet and still, I believe we have the responsibility to go a little bit beyond the law at this point and basically post it when we do have the opportunity to do that, to keep an open government and an open dialogue with our community as it relates to what we're trying to do on the community's behalf versus being reactive and having to respond. And that's the position I'm coming from. I would rather we put it out versus have to defend someone's perception, which in turns equates to the community's reality.
Councilman, if I could jump in for a minute, just anticipating that others might want to join in this discussion, we are not agendaed to discuss the policy of whether we agenda these things or not. This was merely a verbal explanation as to why we're not going to. Let me make a suggestion, and that is, can I get together with the manager, distribute to each of you what might be a proposed policy as to how this will be handled in the future, and if anybody would like to have that discussed publicly in the agenda, we could put it on a future agenda. It might also be appropriate because in 2 more meetings, we're going to have 2 new council members, and it might be appropriate for them to be involved in that discussion as well, so that they understand what the law is and have some say-so as to whether or not we're going to agendize these things in the future.
The only time we ever got in trouble, Mr. Jerrick, is when we followed your advice. I knew this was agenda-sized.
I really don't want to miss this discussion.
Okay. So understanding what we're saying, we agree with Councilman Barlow and what he's saying, the time. Can't talk about that.
Can't discuss that.
We'll add this to the briefings for next week, and we'll have a draft policy ready for your consideration.
I was just going to say then we would have it in the public. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any further business come before this council? Hearing none, will be recessed until 1 o'clock.
I'm waiting for Phil Worsford.
Till 1 o'clock.
That's the reason I keep on answering it.
How are you?
You guys ready? Good afternoon, everyone.
He's got a 6:30. He's got a 6:40.
Staff.
Just free cash, but he's probably going to do it in 6:35.
We would like to call. We'd like to call this afternoon session of council to order. Any item number 53. Any items from the afternoon session that the council, staff, and/or the applicant wishes to be strictly held in abeyance to a future meeting may be brought forward and acted upon at this time. Councilman Wilson, please.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Item number 63, a public hearing regarding 4245 Amethyst Avenue, property owner Goodridge and Pennington Mortgage Fund. A request has been made to obey that to June 15th, 2011. And items number 65 and 66, variance 40579 and special use permit 40577, applicant owner Conan and Jessica Turner. A request has been made to obey that to the July 6th, 2011 meeting, and I would make that motion.
Are there any other items, council members? Hearing none, you've heard the motion. Cast your vote, please.
Yeah, right.
Please post. Motion carries. Item 54 is a abeyance item, public hearing, and possible action to consider the reports of expenses to recover costs for abatement of nuisance located at 674 East Oakey Boulevard, the amount of $3,002 and assess a maximum of $37,550 in daily civil penalties. Property owner is Drew Hicks. This is in Ward 3. Mr. Smith.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. Devin Smith, Neighborhood Response Manager. The purpose and background is that the condition of the property was a public hazard and an attractive nuisance. The Department of Building and Safety declared the property in violation and started legal notification. When no corrective action was taken nor an appeal filed, the Department of Building and Safety hired Weaver Construction to board all open doors and windows, remove all sheds, trash, debris, high grass, and dead vegetation. To date, there have been 5 inspections conducted at this location. The recommendation is that the City Council approve the report of expenses to include a $1,760 invoice for Weaver Construction, in addition to other fees assessed for a total of $3,002, and consider assessing a maximum of $37,550 in daily civil penalties. And just for the record, Your Honor, the $3,002 has been confirmed that it has been paid, and so the only consideration left would be the daily civil penalties in the amount of $37,550.
And your recommendation would be?
Mayor Pro Tem, basically, my recommendation would be to
Do they have other properties in the city?
I do not believe so. Typically, what the council has asked for is 10%,
Yes.
but there again, it is at your discretion
Okay.
of what you would like to impose
Yes.
as far as those daily civils.
Yes, sir. You're representing the owner?
Yes, my name is Sean Christopher. I'm counsel for the owner, Ms. Drew Hicks. Ms. Hicks had thought she had surrendered this property back to her lender through her bankruptcy proceedings. She filed bankruptcy back in 2009, received a discharge in February of 2010. In March of 2010, her lender had served a notice of trustee sale that was supposed to take place either towards the end of March or beginning of April of 2010. As far as she knew, the bank had taken the property back. And then she finds out she's getting fined and potentially assessed a civil penalty. We're here, my understanding from Mr. Smith is that the lender has stepped forward and paid the actual hard cost on this, and I'm just here to ask that there be a waiver of any civil fine.
Are they going to maintain the property so that we want to go back out there and?
We are trying to have the bank just take the property back.
Well, we have a lot of trouble with the banks taking care of the property too, though.
Well, I understand that, but Ms. Hicks is unemployed. She has, she has she doesn't have the financial ability to maintain the property any longer. And again,
if she's going to let the bank take it over, though, so what if we had an assessment of 10% of the $37,550? It's just going to go, and the bank's going to have to pay it then.
And if the bank is willing to pay it, then that's the bank's issue. But I'm here on behalf of Ms. Hicks.
Yes.
We don't believe that the fine is appropriate against her.
You say she's going to let the property go back, though?
She is waiting for the bank to take the property back.
Yeah. Okay.
Your Honor, if I may, just for the record, the gentleman that got us the check for the fees and the fine is one of the property maintenance companies that takes care of this bank's properties, and typically they are very responsive and do take care of the properties, and if we notice them of any violations once they've taken them, they are very responsive.
Well, I want to make sure that the property is taken care of, though. And to me, at least assessing, the minimum of 10% of the 37,000, it should wake them up anyhow. Make sure they're going to take care of the property.
Correct. I just wanted to put on record that the company that is managing this one
I appreciate that.
typically does take good care of
And
it.
Mayor Pro Tem, you understand that she's not personally liable for that.
And that's why I'm here. I
It's
just want to
a
make sure, as long as it's attached to the property,
It's a lien.
and if the lender pays for it, and it's a lien, I have no issues if the bank is responsible.
Yeah.
I am here solely to ensure that Ms. Hicks doesn't end up with trying to rebuild her life after bankruptcy, end up with a $40,000 collection account against her.
Yeah.
And I understand, and that the city has the ability to file a lien on the property. I understand that. I just want to make sure that there's no way that no one's going after her personally, and that is the sole reason I'm here.
Well, I would thank them for paying the $3,002, but I'm still going to assess I'm going to assess a 10% penalty, $3,755. Any questions on the motion?
Who are you assessing that on?
I'm putting a lien on the property. So
On the property.
She's going to let the property go back to the bank.
Yeah, you're not putting it on her.
No,
it's on the
absolutely not.
property.
No,
Okay, thank
to
you.
the bank. Cast your vote, please. Please post.
Public hearing.
Motion carries.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and
Oh,
council
public hearing, I'm
members.
sorry. This is a public hearing. Anyone speaking on this item? Thank you. We'll close the public hearing. Now cast your vote. Now post. Motion carries. Item 55 is again a public hearing. Possible action to consider the report of expenses to recover costs for abatement of nuisance located at 1725 East Carson Avenue in the amount of $4,859 and assess a maximum of $68,050 in daily civil penalties. Property owner is Michael Malarski Jr. This is in Ward 3 also. Mr. Smith?
Again, Mayor and Council, Devin Smith, Neighborhood Response Manager. The purpose and background is that the condition of the property was a public hazard and an attractive nuisance. The Department of Building and Safety declared the property in violation and started legal notification. When no corrective action was taken or an appeal filed, the Department of Building and Safety hired American Demolition to repair or replace the fence in the rear yard. To date, there have been 11 inspections conducted at this location. The estimated value of the property based on Zillow.com is $45,500. The recommendation is that the City Council approve the report of expenses to include a $340 invoice for American Demolition in addition to other fees assessed for a total of $4,859 and consider assessing a maximum of $68,050 in daily civil penalties.
This is a public hearing. Is the owner here? Anyone wish to speak on this item? Seeing no one, will close the public hearing. I make a motion to assess the $4,859 and assess a $20,000 daily civil penalty. The property is only worth $45,500, so I think $25,000 would be fine. Any questions on the motion? Hearing none, cast your vote, please. Please post. Motion carries. Item number 56 is a public hearing and possible action to consider the report of expenses to recover costs for abatement of nuisance located at 1925 Franklin Avenue in the amount of $2,868.55 and assess a maximum of $31,550 in daily civil penalties. Property owner is Jeremy Shane. This is in Ward 3 also. Mr. Smith?
Again, Mayor and Council, Devin Smith, Neighborhood Response Manager. The purpose and background is that the condition of the property was a public hazard and an attractive nuisance. The Department of Building and Safety declared the property in violation and started a legal notification. When no corrective action was taken nor an appeal filed, the Department of Building and Safety hired Lewis Construction to board all doors and windows, remove shed and exterior accessory structures located in the rear yard, to include a half-constructed treehouse and non-permitted and located in the setback, and remove all trash, debris, graffiti, and all high dead vegetation, grass, and weeds. To date, there have been 6 inspections conducted at this location. The estimated value of the property based on Zillow.com is $50,000. The recommendation is that the City Council approve the report of expenses to include a $1,037 invoice for Lunas Construction in addition to other fees assessed for a total of $2,868.55 and consider assessing a maximum of $31,550 in daily civil penalties.
Is the property owner present? This is a public hearing. Anyone wish to speak on this item? See no one, will close the public hearing. My motion would be to follow staff's recommendation of $28,868.55 and assess a maximum of $25,000 in daily civil penalties. This property is valued at $500,000 or $50,000. Any questions on the motion? Hearing none, cast your vote. Please post. Motion carries. Item 57 is again a public hearing and possible action to consider report of expenses to recover costs for abatement of nuisance located at 2122 Stewart Avenue in the amount of $2,093.50 and assess a maximum of $40,050 in daily civil penalties. Property owner is Gerald Eckert. This is also in Ward 3. Mr. Smith.
Again, Mayor and Council, Devin Smith, Neighborhood Response Manager. The purpose and background is that the condition of the property was a public hazard and an attractive nuisance. The Department of Building and Safety declared the property in violation and started legal notification. When no corrective action was taken or an appeal filed, the Department of Building and Safety hired American Demolition to board all open doors and windows and remove all trash, debris, and sheds. To date, there have been 5 inspections conducted at this location. The estimated value of the property based on Zillow.com is $36,500. The recommendation is that the City Council approve the report of expenses to include a $970 invoice for American Demolition, in addition to other fees assessed for a total of $2,093.50, and consider assessing a maximum of $40,050 in daily civil penalties.
Is the property owner present? Representative? Hearing none, we'll Mr. Farlow.
Yes, thank you. Todd Farlow, 240 North 19th Street. Councilman Reese, this house isn't worth the cost of tearing it down. I don't know what in the world to do with that, but $35,000, that thing isn't worth even close to that.
Do you want to go water the trees?
What's that?
You want to go water the trees? This is close
I will there. Yeah, I will.
This is very close to his house. We'll close the public hearing. My motion would be to try to collect the $2,093.50 and assess $20,000 in civil penalties. Any questions on the motion? Cast your vote. Post, please. Motion carries. Item number 58 is a public hearing and possible action to consider the report of expenses to recover costs for abatement of nuisance located at 231 North 11th Street in the amount of $4,303.50 and assess a maximum of $38,050 in daily civil penalties. Property owner is 11th Street Holdings, Inc. This is in Ward 5, Councilman Barlow's ward. Mr. Smith.
Again, Mayor and Council, Devin Smith, Neighborhood Response Manager. The purpose and background is the condition of the property was a public hazard and an attractive nuisance. The Department of Building and Safety declared the property in violation and started legal notification. When no corrective action was taken nor an appeal filed, the Department of Building and Safety hired American Demolition to board all open doors and windows and remove all travel trailers from site. To date, there have been 6 inspections conducted at this location. The estimated value of the property based on Yahoo Real Estate is $153,000. The recommendation is that the City Council approve the report of expenses to include a $1,850 invoice for American Demolition, in addition to other fees assessed for a total of $4,303.50, and consider assessing a maximum of $38,050 in daily civil penalties.
Thank you. Is the applicant present? Property owners, anyone who speak on this item? Hearing no one. We'll close the public hearing. Councilman Barlow?
Yes, move to follow staff's recommendation.
You've heard the motion. Any question? Hearing none, cast your vote, please. Please post. Motion carries. Item number 59 is a public hearing and possible action to consider the report of expenses to recover costs for abatement of nuisance located at 321 North 16th Street in the amount of $2,473 and assess a maximum of $54,550 in daily civil penalties. Property owner is John A. Pale, Jr. This is in Ward 5, Councilman Barlow's ward. Devin?
Again, Mayor and Council, Devin Smith, Neighborhood Response Manager. The purpose and background is that the condition of the property was a public hazard and an attractive nuisance. The Department of Building and Safety declared the property in violation and started legal notification. When no corrective action was taken nor an appeal filed, the Department of Building and Safety hired American Demolition to board all open doors and windows, remove non-permitted structure, trash, debris, high weeds, and grass. To date, there have been 6 inspections conducted at this location. The estimated value of the property based on Zillow.com is $61,500. The recommendation is that the City Council approve the report of expenses to include a $1,300 invoice for American Demolition, in addition to other fees assessed, for a total of $2,473, and consider assessing a maximum of $54,550 in daily civil penalties.
Thank you. This is a public hearing. Is the property owner present? Anyone else wish to speak on this item? Seeing no one, will close the public hearing. Councilman Barlow?
Yes, move to follow staff's recommendation.
You've heard the motion. Cast your vote, please. Please post. Motion carries. Item 60 is a public hearing and possible action to consider the report of expenses to recover costs for abatement of dangerous building demolition located at 1017 East Bonanza Road in the amount of $38,121 and assess a maximum of $133,050 in daily civil penalties. Property owner is Bryce Peters Finn Corp. LLC. This is in Ward 5, Councilman Barlow's ward. Mr. Smith.
Again, Mayor and Council, Devin Smith, Neighborhood Response Manager. The purpose and background is the condition of the property was a public hazard and an attractive nuisance. The Department of Building and Safety declared the property in violation and started legal notification. When no corrective action was taken or an appeal filed, the Department of Building and Safety hired Weaver Construction to demolish the structures in compliance with Clark County health regulations and remove all trash and debris, remove all high and dead vegetation, and apply herbicide and pose no trespassing signs. To date, there have been 19 inspections conducted at this location. The estimated value of the property based on Zillow.com is $55,500. The recommendation is that the City Council approve the report of expenses to include a $25,100 invoice for Weaver Construction, $600 invoice for Cam Air for asbestos survey, in addition to other fees assessed, for a total of $38,121, and consider assessing a maximum of $133,050 in daily civil penalties.
Thank you. Is the property owner representative here? Anyone wish to speak on this item?
Thank you, Todd Farlow. This is a finance company that owns this thing, and we should have no mercy on it.
Anyone else wishing to speak? Seeing no one, will close the public hearing. Councilman Barlow?
Yes, move to follow Todd Farlow's recommendation and staff.
Thank you. You've heard the motion. Any questions? Hearing none, cast your vote. Post, please. Motion carries. Item 61 is a public hearing and possible action to consider a request for a waiver and or reduction of fees and or civil penalties for the property located at 1309 North 22nd Street in the amount up to $57,104.09. Property owner Bank City Bank, NATRS, Ward 3. Mr. Smith.
Again, Mayor and Council, Devin Smith, Neighborhood Response Manager. The purpose and background of today's hearing is a request from Michael Panaro, representative of owner J.P. Morgan Chase Bank, to consider a request for a waiver and or reduction of fees imposed on the parcel at City Council meeting on August 4, 2010. The case was generated on January 24, 2009. There was one abatement conducted at this property, December 18, 2009. The lien was recorded at the Clark County Recorder's Office on April 14, 2010. Building and Safety received a request for waiver and a reduction of civil penalties application dated March 21, 2011 from Michael Panaro, representative of J.P. Mortgage Bank, requesting civil penalties be waived.
Is a representative from Bank City Bank present? This is a public hearing. You wish to speak on this item?
Yes, thank you, Todd Farlow. Again, in the American Prospect magazine, in the last issue, it showed what the banks that got these big bailouts, what they paid in taxes. They're sitting on a pile of money now. Zero. Not one penny in taxes for the last 3 years. We've been sitting with this crap. They saddle us with it. They pay no taxes, and they're just getting away with bloody murder after the taxpayer bailed them out. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. Of the 5 largest companies in this country, they have paid zero taxes in the last 3 years. Think about that the next time you fill out your taxes, and if anybody wants to have mercy on these damn banks.
Thank you, Todd. My motion would be to,
Your Honor, just for the
Yes.
record, we have talked to the representative for the bank. They have agreed to pay our hard cost of $6,973.30 and 10% of the daily civil penalties, and with interest accrued and everything, it'd be a total of $11,986.38. And I have a verbal agreement that they would have us a check within a week.
I will follow staff's recommendation for approval of this item. You've heard the motion. Cast your vote. Please post. Motion carries. Item 62 is a public hearing and possible action to consider request for a waiver and/or reduction of fees and/or civil penalties for the property located at 1429 Virgil Street in the amount up to $28,723.18. Property owner is Virgil Street Trust. This is in Ward 3. Mr.
Again,
Smith.
Mayor and Council, Devin Smith, Neighborhood Response Manager. Today's hearing is a request for Mr. Haddad, owner, to consider a request for a waiver and/or reduction of fees imposed on the parcel at the City Council meeting on November 18, 2009. The case was generated on June 11, 2009. There was one abatement conducted on this property August 31st, 2009. The lien was recorded to Clark County Recorder's Office on November 24th, 2009. Building and Safety received a request for a waiver and a reduction in civil penalties application dated April 4th, 2011 from Mr. Haddad, owner representing the owner requesting that the civil penalties be waived.
Are you Mr. Haddad?
I am.
Glad to hear from you.
Eddie Haddad at 1429 Virgil Street, owner of the property. Property acquired through foreclosure. Good afternoon, City Council, Mr. Mayor. Property acquired through foreclosure, spent thousands and thousands of dollars rehabbing the property. After we were done, we got vandalized again. We've been working with Metro, put a family in there. Property looks great. Here's a photo. Is there a camera here?
Go to the overview, please.
We continue to rehab properties in Las Vegas. Properties acquired through trustee sales, attend sales in the mornings, afternoons, spend hours and hours, and would like to rely on a policy that the city would have. Would like your leniency. When we acquire these properties, we do spend a lot of money rehabbing them, and would like just courteously to waiver the fees. Thank you.
What do they paid the city on this property?
Mr. Haddad has not agreed. He had assumed that he was only going to have to pay the $4,173.18, and I explained to him the 10% of the daily civil penalties, and that's why he's here today.
He doesn't want to pay the 10%?
He does not want to pay the 10%.
How about 15%?
No. I've been here before you several months back, and I brought the amounts that I paid, and it came out to about 14% of the total amount. So, again, when property was acquired, I made assumptions that based on what I paid in the past, that this would be the amount that I would pay. So when I take this amount and then multiply by 14%, it's more than that. It's much higher.
On this piece of property here?
Yes, that is correct.
He's paid $14,000 on this property?
No, on Tumbleweed. I've been here in front of you before.
I'm talking about this property here, though.
I haven't paid anything except the property taxes we just brought current. I think it was yesterday was the deadline, the last day of the month. So we don't incur any more further penalties. We pay our property taxes at the end of every month.
Yeah. Well, we've kind of stuck by our guns on these properties like this. Once they pay the fees that we have incurred by going out and boarding up the property and cleaning up the property, I feel like that we should get to the 10% also. So my motion is to allow them a waiver down to 10% of the $28,723.18. Any questions on the, and this is a public hearing. Anybody else wish to speak on this item? We'll close the public hearing. You've heard the motion. Cast your vote.
Councilman?
Mr. Still.
Just quickly, is that, just so the record is clear, is it 10% of the 28,000
Yes.
plus the actual costs that were incurred?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Fair enough.
May I ask a question? Or is that 10% of the penalty amount, which is $24,000 plus the amount,
Daily
hard
civil
cost?
penalties is $28,000.
Yeah, that includes the hard costs, I believe, though.
Well, it'd be just the 28,000.
Your Honor, just to clarify, the hard cost with interest that we have is $4,173.18.
That's the 28,000.
And then the daily civil fees is $24,550.
So the total is 28,000.
I don't think, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, I don't think
Yes.
it's written correctly in our book, is
Yeah,
it?
we're confused here.
The total amount with the hard cost, civil penalties, and interest would be $28,723.18. If we went 10% of the daily civil penalties, it'd be $2,455, with our hard cost of $4,173.18, and that is including the interest. The total would be $6,628.18.
That's my motion. Again, any question on the motion?
Is this something that we can rely on in the future, that is 10% of the penalty plus the hard cost? Is that something that can be relied upon?
That's been pretty regular, yes.
Mayor Pro
You bet.
Tem, I understand what you're saying, but my personal feeling would be we should take these on a case-by-case basis. I mean, every case is different, and you come in here in good faith, and in the one hand, you're deserving of that reduction, fine, but another case may be different. So when you say, can I rely on that, I think maybe as a general policy, but every case is different.
Yes.
And I concur with that, Mayor Pro Tem. Mayor.
You bet. Cast your vote, please. Motion carries.
Comment, Mayor?
You bet.
And Mr. Haddad, I want you to understand, when this nightmare started for us as a city council, these foreclosures, and the reluctance of banks or lending organizations to come to the microphone to even suggest they even control the property. These heavy civil penalties weren't directed at entrepreneurs like you, who are going through neighborhoods, buying these foreclosed properties, renovating these foreclosed properties, putting families up. We commend you for that. I think that's tremendous. Don't stop doing that, and I concur with both of my colleagues up here. We've been pretty consistent with that 10%, but again, I'm going to lean towards Councilman Wilson in regards to each case is a case-by-case basis. So I don't want you to be discouraged. I want you, as one city councilman, I want you to continue to do what you're doing. It was no way, shape, or form us putting those heavy civil penalties on people like you. It was to get the banks and lending companies' attention that we're taking this crisis in the city of Las Vegas very seriously, and we're not getting anything back. And that bothers us to a great deal, as you can tell. We're quite frustrated about it, but I just want you to understand.
Sure. No, I can understand that. You want your policy to to have teeth, and you want the banks to come forward and do what they have to do. If I may recommend, if you look at Los Angeles, the way that they've approached it, banks must drive their properties. If the property is vacant, they must drive it. I think it's once or twice a month, and if the property is occupied, they must drive it at least once a month. And otherwise, there is serious, repercussions for that.
Oh.
It's something that the city might consider.
Thank you. Item number 63 is a public hearing, possible action to consider.
It's a debate.
Oh, it's a debate. I'm sorry. Item 64 is a consent calendar. Is considered to be routine and recommended for approval by the planning department. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda item number 64?
So moved.
You've heard the motion. Cast your vote. Please post. Motion carries. Item 65 and 66 is obeyed. Items
67, 68.
67 and 68. Item 67, special use permit 843, request for special use permit for a proposed car wash, full service use. And item 69 is site development review 40,836, request for a site development plan review for a proposed 1,000 square foot car wash, full service facility. The applicant owner is 3Bs Inc. The project is located at 8601 West Charleston Boulevard. The Planning Commission and staff recommend approval of both items. These items are in Ward 2, Councilman Wilson's ward, and are public hearings, which I now declare open. Is the applicant present?
Rudy Starks with RSJ Architecture, 6069 South Fort Apache Road, here on behalf of the applicant.
You have anything to say?
Yeah, actually, we met with Planning Director regarding some of the concerns that Councilman had last week, and the main concern was the noise. So what we prepared, and I can hand this forward if I may, is the sound levels, the decibel sound levels for the car wash, the blow dryers themselves. And the first page, and I have a couple other copies I can hand in for the record if you like. The first page represents some comparison decibel levels for common sounds that we hear every day. The second page of what's been handed to you is the actual decibel levels for the car wash blowers themselves from the car wash manufacturer. And the third page is a map that shows how the sound decreases. So the technical information that you have there on the second page shows that we're at 60 feet, we're at 72 decibels. And then the manufacturers told us that at 200 feet, we're at 60 decibels, which is comparable to a normal office as far as sound. So the nearest residential is approximately 304 feet across Charleston. So we're buried on the site, and that map on the last page shows that we're actually directing all of our sound toward the Nevada Power substation. So it'll be even less sound by the time you're going perpendicular, by the time the building is buffering it. So we believe that it would be a lot less than the sound of traffic. A lawnmower is 100 decibels at the source, and this is 94 decibels at the source. So I hope that answers any questions. Would be happy to answer any other questions you may have.
Any questions? This is a public hearing. You wish to speak on this item?
Todd Farley, where's the substation, the Nevada Power that you were talking about on the map?
May I answer?
Please.
The reason I say that, some of those substations make more noise than the car wash would ever dream of.
Good afternoon, Mayor, Council. My name is Teddy Russell V, a resident of Las Vegas. I heartily recommend approval of this particular item. I have some idea what we want to do in West Charleston. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to be heard? Seeing no one, we'll close the public hearing. Councilman Wilson, please.
Thank you. How do I pronounce your last name, sir?
Starks.
Starks, S-T-A-R-K-S?
That's correct.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Starks, for going to the trouble, and I imagine the expense at having this noise study done. Just out of curiosity, if you don't mind me asking, how much does it cost to have a noise study like this done?
We actually went to the manufacturer, and they had the information on file, so we just went to them. I don't know the cost of actually having the study prepared, but they've run into this in other jurisdictions, so they have this information.
Okay. And I would note that the proposed car wash is on the south end of the convenience store.
Correct.
So it's on the other side of where the nearest residential would be,
That's
which
correct.
would be across Charleston.
Correct.
Okay,
Yeah.
I appreciate you doing this. I thought a lot about it, actually,
Okay.
over the last few weeks, and I've actually conferred with some of my colleagues, especially Councilman Barlow, who apparently likes to get his car washed at 3 o'clock in the morning. So this is a very important project to him. My initial inclination was to restrict the hours and maybe go restrict the hours of the car wash from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. What would that do to your client's business if I restricted the hours like that?
It would, I think in the first place, it would make him less competitive to the car wash that exists down at Buffalo, which is a similar type. It's the automatic drive-through with the blowers, and it's unlimited access. So his competition would be able to benefit from the after hours. I think that's the first thing.
Okay. May I ask Counsel Brian, I'm not sure if this is yours. If I wanted to approve this with no hours of restriction, but then later on it became a problem, do I have any ability to take back something I've given?
You do. We'd just have to receive some complaints from the surrounding neighbors or some complaints from code enforcement or someone to build a case to lessen the hours.
And that would give me the ability to bring it back?
Correct.
If I so chose.
And if it's an SUP, you can always come, it's an SDR.
Or maybe, Councilman, just suggest maybe you could have a 3-month review of the item.
When is the construction of the car wash going to start?
It's not determined yet. What we talked to planning director about was perhaps tying it to a business license or something concrete.
Okay. Could I do something like that to be consistent with what Mayor Pro Tem said, which was to have a review?
You could, and I noticed it is an SUP as well as an SDR, so you're able to bring that back at any time.
Okay, here's what I'd like to do. I'd like to move for approval of item number 67, the SUP, with no hours of restriction, but I'd like to have a 6-month review period from the time of the issuance of the business license. Is that the appropriate agenda item to tie that
That is
condition
correct,
to?
Councilman.
Okay, that would be my motion. Is that acceptable to you on behalf of your client?
Yes.
And
Mr.
Councilman,
Starks?
would that be an administrative review or one before you?
I'd like it to come back before me, please. So that would be my motion on 67.
You've heard the motion, cast your vote. Please post.
And then on item number 68, I do not need to tie that condition onto 68, do I?
You do not.
Okay, my motion is for approval of item number 68.
You've heard the motion, cast your vote, please. Please post. Motion carries.
Mr. Starks, thanks so much. This helped a lot.
Thank you very much. All right.
Agenda item number 69 is I'd like to instruct the city clerk to set the public hearing dates and appeals from the city planning commission meetings and dangerous buildings or nuisance litter abatements. Item number 70 is the citizen participation. Public comment during this portion of the agenda must be limited to matters within the jurisdiction of the city council. No subject may be acted upon by the city council unless that subject is on the agenda and is scheduled for action. If you wish to be heard, come to the podium and give your name for the record. The amount of discussion on any single subject, as well as the amount of time any single speaker is allowed, may be limited. Please give 3 minutes. Are there any members? Yes, Mr. Christoph, please.
Good afternoon, Mayor, Pro Tem Mayor, and Council, as well as staff. My name is Christoph. I do live in the county, but I still have commercial property in the city. I'm here not because it's the last day for you, Your Honor, or for the Pro Tem Mayor, but something that we've been investigating. I said investigating for 3 months now on the behavior of raising funds with about 12.5 people who automatically became nonprofit status. Plus, we talked to the nice man who was your art commission select for the Veterans Memorial Recognition Park at the 100 Circle. We spoke to him last week online and speakerphone. We talked to him in a lengthy time of his involvement, that if he got any contract approached by the American Shooters Company, that he hasn't received any information from the American Shooters Club, no funds whatsoever. And when we went on for about 15, 20 minutes making notations with one of my people to make sure it's correct and not a lot of zigzagging, he said, I would like to get started with this, but it seems like they're keeping a distance from me. I says, who? He says, well, can I call you back? So they called me back last Wednesday. The man who called me back has taken full responsibility from the American Shooters Club without your acknowledgement, without the Pro Tem and the body of the council. His name is Alan W. SCHRIMPF. He talked to me very briefly twice. When I talked to him just recently, he backed off because he realized who I was. And he knew that before I even talked to him the first time. But when I said to him very clearly, what is going on that the American Shooters Club is not involved anymore and it's given to you? He says, well, we have several directors. I said, sir, all I want to know is why is it that the city doesn't know that you are now responsible for raising not $800,000, but an overrun of $2.5 million. This is documentation that we worked on with our staff. These are technicians, strictly handle the things on the computers. Prior to that, we did a scam on the contracting company. Everybody that's involved, we have their names, and we're doing a background research going back 10 years on them, on their behavior, and that's normal. But I believe something that smells rotten when you put your name and your blessing, the pro tem mayor did, and the council, and we give something that was started before, right around 2008, middle of 2008, going into 2009, with them presenting themselves that they can make it possible. They said that to you and to the pro tem mayor 3 different times, that we can make it possible to build a phenomenal, beautiful monument at the 100 Circle Park. Well, it was very impressive. Even knowing at the time, April the 15th, 2009, I was never notified to come down here. Lonnie Hamilton called me up a day before and say, "Are you going to be at the meeting?" "What meeting?" And he explained to me. I said, "Well, it's news to me." And then when I come in here, the pro tem mayor recognized I was here, and he made a good gesture that it's my idea. Well, as I spoke to you, Your Honor, it is not an idea. It's never been an idea. For 71 years, all the leaders, as I explained to you, and maybe you'll remember, never came forward took the leadership of saying, let's put a memorial for our men and women who gave their life for their country and our community. That's what we said. When you made an effort with the city on your design, with your people, we concentrated on 20% of the southern part of that 100 Circle Park. The encompass of what the artist puts, all 4 of them, or 5 of them, spreads all the way through the 100 Circle Park. Very bad. And these are experts that I send information back east to find out the size of the park and how it enhances. I want to let you know that another person I talked to 5 weeks ago who's running for Ward 3, I talked to him. His name is State Senator Bob Coppin. We had a discussion, and I said, what is your views on the Veterans Memorial Recognition Park at the 100 Circle Park? He said, well, I'm going to tell you, I don't want it in there, and I don't want it in Ward 3. I said, what? He said, that's right. If I win the election, I don't want it in 100 Circle Park or any part of Ward 3. Now, these are statements made directly to me with somebody. We're not taping anything. We don't have them on the screen.
Chris, your time's up. Your time's up, so can you wrap it up?
Excuse me?
Your time's up, so can you wrap it up?
Time is not up for the veterans who have been denied their rights and their respect. And I say this very clearly, Mayor Pro Tem, I can't imagine why your staff is not on this, knowing that they've been dragging their feet, even though they raised in 2010 $193,000. But what? And sure, they don't have to tell the people how much they raised.
I'll meet with you right after the meeting, okay?
Excuse me?
I'll meet with you right after the meeting.
All right, because the people now want to know, because the mayor made that pledge and you made that pledge, and the city council.
Absolutely, we did. I'll talk to you in just a minute, please.
Let's get this thing cleared up, because we want to move forward, not backwards.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else wishing to speak?
Good afternoon, Mr. Mayor, City Council. I'm Teddy Russell V, a resident of Las Vegas. I saw myself for the first time on TV with this laptop, and not only do I look like the toothless wonder, I also look like Father Time. My hair went white after the president announced the pre-60 or the 67 borders for Israel. It all got cleared up. I'm a member of the American-Israeli Political Action Committee. I was so pleased with the morning meeting. I thought the ceremonial was the most impressive and most inspiring we've ever had. I was also very impressed with Chief Coyne's progress, which was all kinds of miraculous. Skype to the White House, I would like to have the Secretary of Education and the Secretary of Justice pay attention to what modeling we have done. I came here most of all to say I voted. I voted for Carolyn Goodman because of the Meadows School and what it did to the neighborhood. She is not a lifetime politician, neither is the good mayor. That was just the answer of my heart. And I think she would be a wonderful mayor. Thank you very much and have a great day.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak?
Thank you, Todd Farlow, 240 North 19th Street. Three things. On getting our money back from those banks, keep in mind that the bank's legal addresses are in the Cayman Islands. They're not even American corporations. On item number 39, about the treatment, the wastewater treatment facility, whoever is responsible for putting that bike trail in around that facility, absolutely marvelous. If any of you own a bike, I hope you take that wash trail and experience it, because it is #1, really nice. The third thing and the final is going back to number 19 on that seating. And I want to ask the council, Councilwoman Tartani, would you take it upon yourself to make sure that we get the right seats in there, something that they don't, because they're going to the lowest bidder. We're going to get something out of a wooden bench out of a Quaker's meeting house if we're not careful. Because if we get those things like they put in that government center, I mean, those things are torture, and that's just not right. So if you or your staff would go and check on that stuff so we don't get a bunch of crap, I'd sure appreciate it.
Do you wonder why they put them in, Todd?
What's that?
Do you wonder why they put them in over there?
Yeah.
Anyone else wishing to speak? Yes, sir.
Good afternoon. My name is Frank Gillis. I just wish the mayor to thank him for the 12 years that he's given to the city. I thank you for that.
Thank you, Frank.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak? Seeing no one, will close the public hearing for citizen participation. Item 71 is council member recognition. Comments made by the individual city council members during this portion of the agenda will not be acted upon by the city council unless that subject is on the agenda and scheduled for action. Any member of the council who wishes to speak on this portion of the agenda, I'm going to speak first for just a moment, if I could, please. Mr. Christoph, about a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, I met with a member of the Shooting Association. I met with a member from American Sportsman, and they, the American Sportsman. I met with a member from them in my office, and they explained to me they're going through reorganization. One that the president had resigned, and he moved to North Carolina or somewhere, and they told me that it would be at least 2 years before they got started on the Veterans Memorial. And that's all I can tell you at this time.
One thing I want you to remember this. Before 2009, April the 15th, you would never ask me to come to your office because it is your Ward 3 and say, Mr. Christoph, we have to make some decision, like a gentleman should. I don't care if you're a councilman or your business. You should have told me before that.
We did have many conversations over this, though, Chris.
I just want to let you know a guy named Joseph Lamb and the Lamb family, other people were very disturbed on that one particular meeting, April the 15th. Sure, as far as myself, I don't believe in recognition for something like this.
Chris, I'll talk to you later, okay? I'm just saying, I made that distinction today. I want the other council members to know why that Veterans Memorial has been delayed. And so you and I'll discuss this in just a minute, okay?
The mayor,
sir,
the mayor said it's $940,000, right, Your Honor? Do you remember that?
Mayor,
and now, this guy says $800,000.
Chris, we'll meet with you in just a minute.
Now it's 200 over. 200. I mean, 2.6
Chris, as soon as the meeting's over with, I'll meet with you, okay?
All right, but the people want to know now.
Yeah, well, that's fine.
And they're not waiting 2 years. They're not going to wait a year. They're going to start asking for federal intervention because of some misleading factors on nonprofit status.
Fine.
Okay?
Okay, so
all right.
Okay. Councilman Ross, please.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. I just want to point out a couple of things coming up in the next couple of weeks. On June 4th, which is this Saturday, Centennial Hills Hospital will be holding a health fair from 10 to 1, and I have been invited personally by Girl Scout Elisa Dianduano from the Girl Scout Troop 414, and I will be hanging out with them at 10 o'clock in the morning as they teach me how to compost. And I want to read this to you. Composting reduces waste. It's good for the environment, and it reduces stuff in landfills. That was handwritten, I'm sure, by her. Also, June 7th, which is this next Tuesday, is the general election, and we encourage everybody who has not had the opportunity to exercise their right to vote to do so. And on June 11th, which is the next Saturday, from 7 to 10, it is the Ward 6 annual fishing derby at Floyd Lamb Park at Tule Springs. Fishing will be free, and the time for that is, if I can pull that back up, it'll be 7 to 10 a.m. We will have live entertainment out there from the Aspen Ridge Bluegrass Band. That will be free. There will also be $5 pancake breakfast sponsored by Troop 555 as a fundraiser for their unit. I will be out there fishing with my grandchildren, and they're extremely excited about that. Your Honor.
I can't even talk. Will they be providing?
Absolutely. We've partnered with Fish and Wildlife, the State Fish and Wildlife Division, who has graciously lent us over 100 fishing poles, so you don't have to have a fishing pole to come out there and fish. If you've got children or you yourself as grown adults would like to come out there and put a worm on your hook or some corn or some popcorn, come on out and fish. It is free. It is the only day throughout the state of Nevada a fishing license is not required to fish. So I encourage everybody to come out there. My family will be out there. We'll be having a great time, Mayor, so expect to see you on the lake bank.
Good.
Thank you. Councilman Anthony?
Thank you. I want to invite everybody to join me in Ward 4 for the beginning of summer this Saturday with Summer Splash. It's going to be June 4th. It starts at noon and goes till 2 p.m., and it's going to be held at the Durango Hills YMCA at Durango and Cheyenne. There'll be free swimming, there'll be DJ there, there'll be games, free refreshments, and prizes while they last. We kick off the summer that Saturday with me doing a cannonball into the pool, and I believe Chief Myers from the fire department is going to say he's going to join me, so we're going to do 2 cannonballs in the pool. We're also going to have the Las Vegas Fire Department and UMC personnel there to provide free save-a-life CPR, hands-on awareness to learn how to do CPR. So it's going to be a fun couple hours, noon to 2, Durango Hills YMCA, this Saturday, June 4th.
I want pictures of the cannonball.
Absolutely. Video.
Any other council member? Councilman Barlow?
Yes, thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Let me pull this document back up. Tomorrow at Starbucks is Coffee with the Councilman. It will take place from 9 a.m. until 10 a.m., and that will be at the corner of Bonanza and Rancho. So please join me tomorrow, Thursday, June 2nd, Coffee with the Councilman. Also, there is a free solar hot water system customer workshop taking place June 2nd. NV Energy and Southwest Gas are hosting a free workshop Thursday, June 2nd, to provide information about incentive programs they offer utility customers who may want to install solar hot water systems. That will be taking place from 6:30 to 7 p.m. At the Student Union on the campus of UNLV on tomorrow. The second annual car show to benefit scholarships, June 4th. That's in conjunction with my colleague, Councilwoman Lois Tarkanian, and that will be taking place on June 4th from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. right here adjacent to City Hall, 416 North 7th Street, here in downtown Las Vegas. So please come out and enjoy this scholarship opportunity, and also see a lot of the custom plastic vehicles that will be on display. So please come out and join the Councilwoman and I on June 4th. And Smokey Bear and Woodsy Owl, Home Sweet Home grand opening event, June 4th at Lead Discovery Children's Museum. So if you're looking for an exciting time to get the kids out and have them participate in a cultural event, this is taking place at the Lead Discovery Children's Museum featured summer exposition coming on June 4th this Saturday as well, and that starts at 10 a.m. And if you're feeling athletic, there's a teacher appreciation walk. Show your support for area teachers by joining me at the inaugural Clark County Teacher Appreciation 5K Run, and that will take place on June 11th, and which is sponsored by One Village. And this walk will begin, or this 5K run will begin at 7 a.m. On the 7th. And of course, you can find all these events on my website at www.lasvegasnevada.gov/Ward 5. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Tarkanian?
I just wanted to add to what Councilman Barlow said about the Classic Cars Show put on by the Latino Peace Officers Association. It's going to be held in the employee parking lot under US 95 on 7th Street, under the freeway area. So just in case you can't find it, that's where it is. And also I'd like to invite anybody who has children living near the YMCA on the west side, and that at 6 o'clock we will have a summer splash on Friday, this Friday, the 3rd of June, from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m., where we'll have all of the same type of activities that Councilman said for Ward 6. And I hope you all can come because and bring your children, because it's something that'll be good in the hot weather. That's it.
Steve, please.
And last but not least, I have a couple things. I'd like to invite city employees to create a Letters from Home campaign, which is being held Monday, June 6th during the lunch hour between 11 a.m. and 2 p.m. We are meeting in the lunchroom on the second floor ring of City Hall. We are going to be creating custom cards to be sent to servicemen and women deployed overseas. So come join us, write a personal message, and share your support for these fine folks. If you have any questions, please contact Audrey Dodge at my office at 229-2420. And then finally, Nevada Child Seekers has once again provided me with a missing child that we need your help to find. Please turn your attention to the screen and take a look at the picture of Kayla Shows. Kayla has been missing since April 28th of this year. She's 16 years old. We're asking for your help in trying to find this young lady. She's 5 foot 3 inches tall, weighs 120 pounds, brown eyes, brown hair. Her nickname is Tinky, and she has the word Ajuni tattooed on her upper right leg. Kayla was last seen in the parking lot of Child Haven between North Pecos and East Bonanza. She's known to frequent the area of Penwood and Spring Mountain. And once again, we have, with the help of Nevada Child Seekers, located about half of the missing children that we have portrayed during these council meetings. So if you know where Kayla is, please contact Nevada Child Seekers at 458-7009 or Las Vegas Metro Missing Persons Unit at 828-3111. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Mayor? Okay. I would like to invite the council members to join the mayor and I tomorrow night down on East Charleston. We're planning on get those fantastic paintbrushes lit up in the sky, designating the Arts District. It'll be from, I think, about 7 o'clock tomorrow night for an hour or so. Anyone else got anything else to say? Then we're adjourned. Thank you.